again, everyone, to the Elite Racing Network. I am Derik Godsoe, and as Paul Page used to say, it's race day in Indianapolis, and you are looking live at the world's greatest virtual race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as we are just moments away from letting loose 33 drivers as they attempt forever to etch their name in the ERL's database as a winner of the Indianapolis 500. I'd like to welcome all of you to all of our race day coverage, and to kick off the pre-race ceremonies, allow me to hand you off to tonight's lead commentator, your voice of the ERL IndyCar Series. Please welcome Derik Vance.
Thank you, Gary, and this is a huge honor for everybody. Thank you. Welcome to, like Gary said, the world-famous Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the 12th running of the Mark J. Rebilas Indianapolis 500. This year will mark the 9th time the Warriors for Peace Open Wheel Series has visited the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and the 12th that the Elite Racing Network has hosted a Delar IR 18 event at Speedway. The broadcast this evening, obviously, we are on the Elite Racing Network, but this group of gentlemen here are elite of their own. First, we have. Oh, well, before we announce everyone else, let's get to God Bless.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
As we prepare for Memorial Day weekend later this month, we pause here in a moment of silence to pay homage to those individuals who have given their lives unselfishly and unafraid to make it possible for us as free men and women to enjoy the world's greatest sporting event. We also pay homage to those individuals who have given their lives unselfishly and without fear to make racing the world's most spectacular spectator sport.
Flyover, ladies and gentlemen. Now it is time for the Nash played by.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Who those broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
What a great rendition of the national anthem there by Erin Pritchard. Let's bring her back one more time for that famous Back Home Again in Indiana.
Back home again in Indiana, where it seems that I can see the gleaming candlelight still burning bright through the sycamores for me. The new moon hastens all its fragrance through the fields I used to roam. When I dream about the moonlight on the Wabash, how I long for my Indiana home. When I dream about the moonlight on the Wabash, how I long for my Indiana home.
Good job, Aaron, there. Now it is time for those most famous words in motorsports, brought to you by somebody that's had a lot of success here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Mario.
Thank you for tuning in for the Elite Indy 500. Gentlemen, start your engines.
That is the sound that we love to hear, those engines firing. That tells us that the green flag is just moments away. I also want to bring in everyone else that is going to be up in the booth this evening. Dean is here with us. Dave Huck is here. Gary, as you heard from earlier. And then a voice that's going to be oh so familiar to everyone, the voice of the 500, Mark Jaynes. Fellas, how are you doing this evening?
Great, guys. Happy to be with you. Second year for me with this, I believe. And what a great way to kick off what promises to be another memorable month of May.
Well, high up in the virtual scoring tower here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, my hometown. I've seen this place so many times, and now to be on the calling side of the big race as we watch these 33 cars make their way through turn one for these crucial parade laps, bringing them up to speed. It's going to be a fun time, and it's my pleasure to be here with everybody in this booth, and I hope everybody at home participate in chat, have a good time, like, share, subscribe, get more people out there. We're going to have a good time. Let's race it. It's race day in Indianapolis.
Yes, it absolutely is. And our last individual in the booth, Dean, how are you this evening as well, sir?
I feel privileged. I mean, Lee Diffie at the moment should be honoured to have another Australian here casting alongside you fantastic gentlemen here for the Indy 500 is going to get ready to go 3 wide here. We have a ton of gladiators at 34 and change on there, and we have a ton of people watching this. It's the motorsport pinnacle. This is it, gentlemen. This is the one you want to win, and I'll tell you what, I'm excited. I hope you all are this evening.
Yes, absolutely. We are excited and ready for what is going to be one exciting race. We do see that the cars are filing 3 rows, as we're used to seeing at the start of the race. And we do see that the starting lineup is going to be scrolling down at the bottom of the screen. Jason Roby, the rookie of this league here, has taken the pole for the Indianapolis 500. The speed that he came in with that got him on the pole was 228.628 miles an hour. And then next beside him, you're going to see Adriano Pinero, a veteran.
Hang on, we're not going green.
He's sneaky today, even though he is up there in the front. And then beside him, I think the crowd favorite, a lot of people are expecting this gentleman to win. That is Robert Chesky. That's how that's pronounced. Malechka, there we go. So I gotta sharpen up on my Russian, but Robert Malechka right there, as he is called, RM3 for sure. So definitely someone to watch as well. We're gonna go to row 2, and Mark, you want to take row 2?
All right, Slew, Little Eagle Racing in car number 5 and car number 2. And then Nicholas Guddick starts in the middle of that row. And Ethan Stanley, Lake Norman Motorsports, car number 91.
Yeah, that is absolutely row 2. Dean, you want to take row 3?
Oh, no, you're fine, gentlemen. Go ahead, please. Sorry. I'm focusing down here at the pit road at the moment, seeing how the engineers are all pumped on there. It's good conditions at the moment. Go.
I got this for you. It's the 8 and Tyler Fody. Moving on to the middle. Our ringer of the race. Finished on the podium here in 1996. Should have been Rookie of the Year, but it was Tony Stewart. Richie Hearn, your fastest pro. And a guy that I've raced with back in sim racing back in the 90s, Butch Davis.
And following Butch Davis, you see there, car 11, Craig Forsyth, the number 99 Ford D Race Wear. Next to Craig will be the number 26 car in Justin Ford.
Hang on, we're not going green.
Eagle Racing, somebody to keep an eye on as well. And then following Justin, the next entry into the Indianapolis 500 will be, as we wait for the number 3 car of Johnny Thomas. Again, keep in mind a rookie as well there at Belly Up Racing. Mark, take the next row.
Derik, Gary, you guys go ahead and finish out the field. I'm going to join Dean and kind of get dialed in on this, if you don't mind.
All right, well, you can't have an Indy 500 without a 14 in the field. Chris Samard's going to be riding that number. In the middle of that road, the boss himself, the host with the most, Chad Frankenfeld, back in the number 15 spot. And 16, one of the flying Brazilians, Victor Del Porto.
Absolutely. Then back to the 17th starting position is the number 10 machine, the Nestle Quick of Jared Rexing. Independent Racing does not have a racing team currently. Next, another rookie there, Chris Stauffer, number 13, for another entry for 4D Racing. And then we are back to the 19th position, another rookie there, Jim Herrick in the number 46 machine, for 4D Racewear.
Behind Jimmy Herrick is the 20 of Gavin Hibbs, or the 95, lining up 20th of Gavin Hibbs there. Hunter Smith with Little Eagle in 21st. And Presley Sora, one of the, you gotta watch this guy coming from the back, 22nd.
Yeah, you absolutely do. Starting in position at 23, Caleb Bench, number 21 from Stowe Motorsports. Right
Hang
behind
on, we're not going green.
Another crowd favorite, somebody you got to keep your eye on there. In 24th position, the number 98 machine of Nick DeGroot from Factory Back Motorsports. And then following him in the 25th position, Kevin Hayes, the 00 machine from 3 Motorsports.
Almost done, and we got another flying Brazilian back here in 26, former race winner Eric Troiano. In the middle, Chad Simpson with Satellite Racing, another team to watch from the rear. And one of the sponsors of today's race, Mark Rebilas, 28th.
Rolling off at 29th there in the number 20 machine, Logan Spath for Stowe Motorsports. Next, in the 30th position, there is Seb Alexander in the number 49 Indy Alliance Racing. And then following him right there as we get towards the tail end here, the 31st position, Eric Mesadu, in the number 83 for EG Racing.
And then these guys, I'm sure they've heard it before, that no man has won back from this far back in the field. But Michael Hosek in 32nd is sure going to give it a run, as well as lining up 32nd, Ethan Burrell, another one of the flying Brazilians, and lining up shotgun on the field. And we'll be watching him as the race progresses. Drake Berry. Yeah.
So
And
that
is your
is
33-car field, yeah.
That is the full car field for yes, the 12th time, like I said, the Elite Racing Network car Speedway. Gentlemen, I know we're still going to
No, pace car's peeling.
Oh, we are going
in.
here. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
we got to get through this start here. This is the key first thing. 3 wide. Guys aren't used to it. They're going through that turn. Here you go. Green flag in the air.
From the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you see rookie Jason Wilson with a jump out into turn number 1 as they go single file down out of turn number 1 towards turn number 2 in the backstretch. Brophy in the lead, Panero.
Sideways, already turn on.
And we've seen a car go sideways.
Drake Berry sideways. We're still green.
Yeah, we are still green, so Drake Berry was able to straighten that machine back up as he's found the backstretch.
We got J3. And now we got Brophy in the backstretch. Sorry, didn't touch up. Brophy got Panero got Brophy at the end of the backstretch, so we have a new leader. We're going to see a very familiar swapping at the front between the first 2 cars as they try to desperately break away from 3-time defending champion Robert Molesky to 3rd and P3. Right behind them is Ryan Schulden, the Little Eagle. He's trying to keep pace. He's getting a lot of dirty air back there in P4.
Yes, he absolutely is.
Hooking up early on to try to pull away from Molechka here. I mean, they know the experience, they know the talent he has, and rather than swap position and give him a chance to make this a 3-car battle, probably a good idea to go nose to tail and maybe get a little distance.
Yeah, he is like a shark in the water. Anytime you see him behind you, always kidded him when he was behind me in the racetrack. Always felt like I was hearing that dun 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 sound because he is just vicious when he runs you down.
As we see another lead change there, as this is going to be coming hot and heavy here, as we see the Adriano Panero actually stays in the lead. It is Adriano Panero out in the lead. Jason Brophy following right behind him, as there is a little bit of a break there, as you see, between the first 2 cars, as Mark alluded to there, because we know how talented and our RM3 is back there in that pack.
And we already got a couple drivers on the march back in P12. Chad Frankenfeld, the host with the most. He is already up 3 spots. And Chris Stouffer in the lead in the second entry. And he's on the inside of Johnny Thomas looking to get another position going into 1. He will pull that off and move him up 5 spots in this 500 already.
Chad Frankenfield told me yesterday to keep an eye on him because he's not accustomed to starting that far back in the field where his starting position was. But he's made good on that. Had my eye on Richie Hurd, as you said, the ringer, although Justin Fortner just made a nice move around Richie Hurd. I remember talking to Richie Hurd on pit road my first year with the network. I was a pit reporter in 1996 when he drove for John Della Feta and Ralph's Food for Less.
Big battle at the moment, gentlemen, for P5, P6, and P7 as you're seeing a gaggle of cars. And it looks like Tyler as well for the 40. And of course, Butch Davis. So here it is, gentlemen. They engines are purring here for the Indianapolis 500. So all they're getting close.
Yeah, that high line is, they've talked about the high line with the latest code release with iRacing not being as OP as it used to be. Butch Davis looking like Newgarden last year in the real 500, hanging it out on the high side, getting that pass. Move Butch Davis up to 7, up 3 spots already in this 500.
Yeah, action coming hot and heavy already as we are in lap 5 of 200, and the front there remains the same. Murphy and Ryan Schultz now up to 3, but like I said, the field's going to be on the march because you know that he does not stay in the back.
And looks like RM3, he's already lost a spot to Schultz. We missed that pass, but he is experimenting with the high side. I think more drivers are starting to get a little brave of the high side. Track temp, this is key to the race with these cars. Very, very, very sensitive. Temperature sensitive, 121 degrees track temp. Guys, that is very hot, and that's why we're starting to see these breaks between cars as the aero wash is starting to impact them. They just can't keep up like they used to, and they're now starting to break into these very familiar groups of about 1/10 a second off each other.
Well, keep in mind, RM3, the veteran, I mean, he's taken a page out of a lot of veterans' books that have won this race, especially those that have won it multiple times. Alan Sr. once said, look, you got to be patient here and just put yourself in a position. It's a long, long race. And he said, I always felt like that if I was in position to win this thing over the last 50 laps, that's when I was going to hit the button, but I was going to try to be patient and take care of the car until then.
Down in pit road at the moment, gentlemen, and Hunter Smith, the number 54 machine, has gone in. I'll try to keep an eye on specifically why, if he's had any problems and issues, but I'll bring that back to you, gentlemen, in a second. He's about to be lapped if he doesn't get out in front of these lead cars.
Still a little early, but we really expect these cars are now very predictable as long as they've been on the surface in real life and even here on the sim. About 30 laps to a stint. So that's going to make the math real easy. It's how long you could make that stint, and can you possibly, over the course of the race, eliminate one pit stop? Well, that's what we're going to see. These guys further on back, though, they don't look like they're saving any type of fuel. And we got two guys back here racing for 19th and 20th. Vincey and Herrick, these two guys have raced together in many different leagues. Jimmy Herrick on the high side, giving room to Vincey on the low side. Vincey already up 3 spots as he's on the move. And he is a local boy from Mid-Ohio area, and that is his home course. But he has done very well every time I've seen him at a league race here at Indianapolis, and I fully expect to see him up in the top 10. And like I said, I've spotted for him before, so I know what he's capable of.
Yeah, a lot of racing going on as we go through the field, but yeah, pit strategy obviously is going to play a huge role in today's race. It's going to be interesting to see, like you said, who can cut down on those pit stops, who can get in and who can get out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, track temp now is up another degree. Here comes Rich Davis. He's up 5 spots, and he's on the backside of Ethan Stanley, getting the run down the main straight. Might take a look at him going into 1. Tucked in, gonna stay right there, gonna go through the south end of the racetrack here between turns 1 and 2 as they exit out of 2 in front of the Riley Jewett Hospital Suites there, down the backstretch. And RM3 is now fallen back to 7th, something that I don't see very often, and he is now in the clutches of Nick Sudik. But on the outside of Sudik, here comes Craig Forsyth. 2 for 1.
Always getting shut down in flames at the moment, isn't he? Justin actually back in P11 as well, too. So there's Chad side by side with Nicholas. The 26 machine to go, single file. He thinks about the outside. He's going to be allowed a little bit of space there from Justin. And can Chad give him that one on the outside? He may get it, gentlemen. Fantastic.
This mid-pack is awesome. This mid-pack battle is great.
Yeah, just what we thought coming up on the midway point of that first 30 lap stint. We speculated that maybe we were seeing a little bit of race pace with all that single file racing, and then lo and behold, they look like marbles on a tabletop as they start to set up and make that pass into the turn.
Every car pretty much single file down the white line. Right now, it doesn't look like that they're abusing those tires too much. Justin Fortner coming a good run off the exit. Frankenfeld's right with him. We might see him pop up there. He is. He's going to go try for 1 and maybe 2 going into 1.
Good pass there by Frankenfield as he does start sneaking in now. That top 10 is going to try to pick off.
Stouffer on the high side. Stouffer on the high side. Stouffer got a good run on the high side. Got a good run down the backstretch. Stouffer up another spot.
A lot of passing early in this race. So they're not going to chew up their tires.
And Maleska loses 2 more.
Yeah, there must be something wrong there with
He might be trying to hit a number. He might be trying to hit a number. Unless there's some damage that we missed early on, he's savvy. And as he's getting more and more realize that he's a threat in every race that he's in, people race him harder and harder, and he's becoming, instead of racing your opponents harder, you race your opponents smarter. And what he might be doing is trying to hit a number right now. As Stouffer on the outside gets a position on him. So let's see what happens. Maybe we'll see when the first pit stops get here if he spends any extra time in the pits. Here comes Fortner on the outside of Maleska, moving Maleska now outside of the top 10. Not seen this very often for our 3-time defending champion.
Yeah, and definitely something. Go ahead.
I was going to say, gentlemen, just get a little bit hungry on the back of our Brazilian mastermind, the 56 at the moment. Up to 2 actually in this one, and then smell perhaps to get to the lead of this one. They're still lurking around, gentlemen, side by side, single file currently in the front. There's a ton of action, of course. It's Indianapolis. Nobody really taking a huge risk just yet, or getting closer and closer and closer. But then, as you said, those track temperatures, 123 degrees Fahrenheit, my friend. We should be taking a barbecue.
Drake Berry, despite going sideways in turn 1 early in the race, has the purple lap, so he does have pace. Has a long way to go before you can get up to fight these guys at the lead. Panero, Brophy, Stanley, Schultz, Davis, your top 5 after 14 of 200 laps. Thanks for everyone for joining us here on the ERN for the ERL's Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series Indy 500 here, presented by Rich Mara Florist. And it's also presented by, of course, Mark Rebilas, who's back there in 28th spot. Just riding it out right now, nice and easy, keeping it on the lead lap, just like you should.
Yeah, right now that's his strategy, but I'm sure over time that will obviously change. We see no change up there in the front. It is Adriano Panero running point. Jason Brophy right behind him. Yes, he does, coming down to the yard of bricks. Let's see if Panero can hold him off as the cars go down into turn number 1 on lap 16.
Yeah, it's right along with Brophy choosing on my camera. Just see how he's lifting, right? A big push for Panero going out of 2. And yeah, Brophy's actually rolling out of the throttle. He's just cruising right now. So he is very much going to try to see to make this first stint run as long. He's making Adriano become the rabbit, and he's going to make him run, and he's going to be the hare. Or the dog, let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. You see very little wheel turn there as we're riding on board there with Jason Brophy, just steady Eddie there as we go back into turn number 1. Jason Brophy just biding his time until he can pounce there, as you said, on Panero.
What a
Fody
shot.
getting a run. Looks like I got Fody's. Sorry, I thought Fody was actually going to take a shot at Davis there, but he kind of backed out of it too. So guess what? I think now everybody is thinking about the big picture right now, and that is fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see, all the cars are a little spread out there. They're not as even as they were, but yeah, absolutely. That fuel window has to be coming into to play here on lap 18 for sure.
A little bit further back, outside the top 10. In fact, Fortner looking at the inside of Stouffer, taking a peek into 3. Not quite going to pull that off, but Fortner leads a group of Samard, Hibbs, Bency, who's worked his way up 9 spots to 14th. He's got around one of his chief rivals in other leagues he's been in, Robert Maleska. Both of those guys fought each other in the Lionheart Series. So Maleska down 11 spots to 15th. Richie Hearn having a bit of a struggle as well, back to 16th. Again, maybe these guys are thinking bigger picture.
Forsyth, Frankenfield, that battle for 7th. Those guys have run pretty much nose to tail for the last 3 or 4 laps.
And let's give a shout out to one of my good pals out in the field there, Seb Alexander to 18th, up 12 spots. Started in the rear. He's the Frankenfield almost contact.
Yeah, you got Chad, of course, Frankenfield there, and of course the Canadian mastermind there, the 99. They're getting spicy and dicey, gentlemen. They're thinking about it. We're also thinking about at the moment. Jason's going to make a run for the lead. Not yet, but further back in the field. Look at this.
Frankenfield. Oh, and you know what? Craig is in an awful spot because it looks like he has a car 2 cars in front of him riding the high line, so he's getting dirty air even running the high line. So that's like a double whammy. And of course, when you run the high line here, watch out, folks, because you run out of room awfully quickly going on the corner exit. Fody taking a look inside Davis, getting the pass there. Move Fody up to the top 5. Pinero, Brophy, Stanley, Schold. Fody, your top 5.
You know, we're only on lap 20, but you look at the leaderboard there on the left-hand side of the screen. A lot of those names that are within the top 10 right now are names that are up there consistently week in and week out. So right now, obviously, we're only at lap 21, but this could be anybody's ball game right now.
Derik, at the moment, I think my dingo's chewed on the cable a little bit of your microphone connection. So we'll see if we get that one addressed immediately as we possibly can, gentlemen. Well, it's the Indy 500. We're 180 laps to go, 21 down. Still no changes necessarily at the lead, but I'll tell you what, that midfield pack is super strong. And we only had one gentleman, Hunter Smith, who's gone down pit road early on lap 6.
Yeah, about 10 laps from the earliest pit stops, and we expect Pinero to probably be that driver. Here comes someone down pit road. That's Nick DeGroot.
Yeah, Nick's coming down here at the moment. Let's see if I can get him his autograph really quickly, and I'll let you know what's happening.
And I tell you this, even at 22 laps, this is a scheduled stop. Now, he needs to come out in front of the leaders, and he needs to get done quickly. So that's going to be a short fill, full tires in the box there for.
Yeah, he should be fine. He should be fine.
Yeah.
He's exiting right now. There, and thank you very much, Nick, for giving the autograph at the moment there as I jumped up to your car there.
Yeah.
And he's fine. He took tires, I believe, my friend.
Yes,
so
he
jacked
did.
him up there. So there it is. He's back out ahead of the lead pack. That's crucial right now because they're coming thick and fast around turn 1.
Yeah, 8-second stop, so it's a short fill for him. He's going to be able to get out in front of this group. And then maybe Adriano can benefit off him being in front of him if he can catch up to him fast enough and maybe work on his draft for a while. Oh, Frankenfield, Forsyth, side by side down the backstretch. Frankenfield trying to get that position one more time. Not going to get it. Tucks back in behind Forsyth. This is a continued battle for 7th. They have been at it, nip and tuck. For the last 8 laps, it seems, they have been fighting very hard. Lost a lot of momentum right now. Now, Frankenfield might fall back into the clutches of Nick
Challenge for the
Sedin.
lead. Challenge for the lead at the moment. They're starting to cut you off at the moment there because we knew it was brewing. But Jason stuck his nose up there at the moment and got it chopped off like a plastic surgeon. But this is heating up, my friends. And of course, that lap car, well, it's not the lap car, of course. That was Nick. This is going down the pit road. He's up the road, but he should be a lot quicker than these drivers just yet.
Yeah.
Here we go. Another challenge for the lead. Jason setting up the inside there for the 88 machine. Does he have it, gentlemen?
He's got it clear. He is clear, and up ahead of them is DeGroot by 2.3 seconds. So they're out of the draft window for DeGroot. They won't be able to benefit off that. The car that's really in the wrong place to be while these two are battling, here's another pass for the lead between Pinero and Brophy, is Stanley. Wherever he goes, he gets dirty air. Side by side in the 3 are Pinero and Brophy. Brophy getting the lead there. Brophy, former many-time the IndyCar Oval Series winner. Adriano Pinero, I call him Adriano 4-wide Pinero, so he's going to take a 2-wide right here. He is a former champion of the Oval Series, and those are on the official iRacing races. He got the 4-wide moniker from me when we decided to take Indycars to Talladega for a week. And he decided he wanted to take it 4 wide in the in the tri-oval and caused a wreck. So that's why Pinheiro is 4 wide Pinheiro. But he is leading right here at Indianapolis now, back to 2 wide as we go Brophy back in the front. Now we begin the swap game.
Fascinating to watch that grap work. You know, when they go high through 2 and 4, they get such a run at the exit of that turn down to just a little bit of 9-degree banking. And if they're patient, that momentum when they pick up that draft just like that is going to slingshot them into the lead by the time they get back to 1 and 3, respectively.
And that time by Pinheiro, 2:19 flat. Brophy, just by leading that lap, was just a little bit faster, though, 2:19.1. As they are pacing out front, a torrid pace. And cars are light right now. Tires are worn. Temperature's hot now, 124 degrees on the track temperature. We are getting very, very close to these first pit stops.
Yeah, those two continue to slug it out, and Stanley not really within striking distance. And as you mentioned, with the pit window starting to open up a little bit, he may be content just to ride along in third place and watch these two slug it out and maybe take advantage of a miscue.
Easy to do here in iRacing. Sometimes the most interested party is the spectator. It's right behind you.
Yeah. Again, a long race. I mean, you're going to take the lead. You want to be out front because that's where the clean air is if you get the opportunity. But obviously, if the opportunity presents itself, you make the pass, you're going to take it.
Oh, that's where the TV time is, as Pinheiro right up against the wall, corner exit, staying up in that second lane through 3 and 4. Whew. That almost, oh, here comes your first taker, Ryan Schuld on pit road. He's coming with his teammate, Frankenfeld. So this is a planned stop for the Little Eagle team. Maybe stop it a little early. We'll see. Brophy cutting to the inside of the racetrack. That might be the cue that he is coming to pit road this time by. We'll see. Pinheiro about a half lane off the bottom, getting a little bit of clean air on that right front plane of his. And let's see, do we make the turn down? But nope, we don't. So Brophy's going to go one more lap. And they have De Groot in front of them by 1.4 seconds. And that is definitely in the draft envelope for these two. They could feel now that dirty air that's being generated by De Groot's car.
Yeah, our driver analyst, Davey Hamilton, as a race strategist, is always a firm believer. When that window opens up, that pit window opens up, get in it as soon as you can because you want to make sure that you have full control of your strategy because you never know when an ill-timed caution might come out and just disrupt all of that pit strategy that you had planned.
You're right, gentlemen, down there at the moment. Mark is going there, Drake, Barry as well, too. So we have give or take, 5 or 6 gladiators going down there early for this pit stops, maybe anticipating, oh, there we go, race leaders in the pit road.
Yeah, Pinheiro pit road right now. He's in a paint job very similar to Christian Fittipaldi back there in 95, kind of that Brazilian flag look. Looks great, the Corinthian Bread King team. Then another car pitting and very far back down pit road, and he had to back into his spot.
Yeah, Ayrton Senna would be very proud at the moment, of course, of Andrea Pinheiro. I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry, my Portuguese is not the best. Adriano should come out. Can he get out? I don't think he's going to get out ahead of this pack at the moment. It's going to be a lap down.
Hey, here comes Brophy. He has the benefit of the draft in front of him, and that's going to pull him along a little bit faster and pull him away from a little bit further from Stanley. Brophy staying out for another lap, 32. So going long, and anything past 30 on your stint is normally bonused. And if these guys can keep stretching that thing out, what that does is reduces that last stop one by one by one.
And you are talking, obviously, Gary, pending there are the cautions, of course, that could throw a whole scenario. And let's
here comes Brophy to pit road.
Oh, here we go. You're right, correctly. I'm going to go down here and see if I can get his autograph. Give me 1 second.
A terrible Brophy, yeah. Big wiggle. Got to stay left of that high-speed lane. Here comes Stouffer. Here comes Bensi. Here comes Richie Hearn. Got another car coming. So feeding time's open for it, boys. The pumps are open. New tires are the call of the day in a full tank. Make sure you hit your marks. Critical seconds are lost if you miss your mark on these cars.
And you're right. Oh, somebody's backing up at the moment too. At the moment, I can't remember specifically who it is, but you want to get your pit stops perfectly. You're going to see your tire crew come out there, and they're going to throw those jacks and those tires. Hopefully, don't wheel across the.
Here comes Stanley. Here comes Fody. Here comes Butch Davis, Forsyth, and the entire field. Sudik, Fortner, Hibbs, all coming to pit road. Everybody. Malechka, there it is. That's what I thought it was. He was saving fuel. Malechka stays out. So going long, Malechka, Del Porto, Johnny Thomas, Simpkin, Troiano, even Herrick, Jimmy Herrick in the 4D ride. Make sure to check out their line of made for sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel, 4dracing.com. Longtime sponsor of my channel on Race First, longtime supporter, rooting for them silently today. He is right now with this lead group, Jimmy Herrick in 6th. But Malechka, fuel economy up to 1st.
And Jason Brophy and Ethan Stanley. Actually, Ethan Stanley just got out ahead of the pack there on that one as the rest of the field are going to come down here. I'm sorry, I can't hear anything because they're locking up, heading into pit road, gentlemen. I'm half deaf. These cars are screaming here in, of course, the fantastic Indianapolis 500 series.
Last to pit is Robert Malechka, Del Porto, Simpson, and Troiano. Those are the last to pit right now. Everyone has stopped. Last time by, Malechka 2:18.4. Del Porto. Of Malechka's. And I think this time they're going to, well, one's coming down pit road. That's Del Porto, but Malechka going long. There's Malechka, your leader. He's still out there. His current stint, 35 laps. That is amazing.
That explains why he fell outside the top 10, which said you're not accustomed to seeing.
He's testing those Firestones to the best limit, but he's coming to pit road right now, gentlemen, so there you go.
Like I said, why race them harder when you can race them smarter? That's going to turn the lead over the Brophy. Brophy has a big 19-second gap that he needs to make up. He is on the backstretch, headed into 3.
I believe at the moment there, Derik, that your my dingo stopped you on your new cable, right? So it should be good to go.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully get all the gremlins out. But yeah, it definitely shows why RM3 has been so successful here at the Speedway. Is fuel saving definitely going to help him out later on in the race.
Well, I tell you, I've complimented him the last couple of weeks. We had a race at the Indycar Oval Series at Pocono 2 weeks back. He was in the running for the Race First Triple Crown because he won the opener at Michigan. So it's Michigan, Pocono, and Indianapolis was part of the Triple Crown for the Oval Series. And he was in 5th place, and the rest of my broadcast team wrote him off. And I said, I will never write off Robert Malechka to 3rd. 2 laps later, he was up in 2nd. 3 laps later, he was fighting for the lead and just lost the race to one of his teammates by the slimmest of margins. And I told him after the race, thank you, Robert, for making me look smart. He's doing it again today because I figured he was working something. Like I said, why instead of racing your opponents harder, because everyone's going to step up and race you really hard because you are Robert Malechka to 3rd, just race him smarter. And as we're done with pit stops, let's reset the field. Brophy is your leader by 4/10 over Schold. Pinero, well, he lost a spot on that on that pit stop handoff. He is 4/10 behind Schold. Stanley in 4th. He is 5/10 behind Pinero. Fody in 5th. He's 8/10 behind Stanley. Frankenfeld now up to 6th. Davis to 7th. Nick de Groot. Remember, Nick de Groot pitted very early. And there is such a thing. We've raced against him a number of times in leagues, such as it's called the Groot strategy. And he is on the opposite end of, I think, what he normally does. He stopped early, right at the 20-lap mark. That's actually when the window kind of opens. So then you can hit every 30 lap there on out to hit. And so he'll get the lap 170 right on the dot. Normally, that's when he pits. That's the strategy that we see with the Groot. He is up to 8th, but keep in mind, he's going to have to stop earlier than everyone else. Forsyth in 9th and Stouffer in 10th, both the 4D guys bringing up the backside of the top 10.
Yeah, definitely a lot of names that we expected to be running towards the front. I know we still got 160 laps to go, but those names up there, as you just read off, people that we expected to be up there when the checkered flag falls. So it's going to be interesting to see going forward what the strategy is going to be, and some of these guys that went off different strategies early in the race, like Nick DeGroot. Is that going to pay off over time?
I raced against Nick DeGroot too many times that I've seen that strategy pay off. I think he knows what he's doing. We'll see when this thing ends out. I mean, he will. Right now, the math says his last stop is lap 170, and then he's good to go to the end. Depending on how these other guys do their mileage, they might have to stop one more time. We'll see. And I love this green flag run. This is awesome. I just knew these guys would get through that turn one very smartly, straighten out, and then race each other straight up once everyone got settled down. So this is some great stuff. I hope everyone not watching at home is having a good time. Hope the sponsors are happy about watching all this. This is great action on the north end of the racetrack through turns 3 and 4. Off of turn 4, Brophy being hunted now by Ryan Schuld in P2.
Yeah, I agree 100%, Gary, with what you just said there. But you talked about sponsors. I know we haven't had any time yet, caution laps wise, because these guys are so dialed in. You want to run through the sponsorship of that makes it possible for us to bring not only the Indianapolis 500 but other races here on the Elite Racing Network.
Yeah, the producers need to give me that sponsor read, but I'll be happy to read them once I have that.
And boys, if 29 years of doing this has taught me anything, when you have a long green flag run, don't mention the C word.
That is called, isn't that called the jinx? Isn't that called the broadcaster's jinx?
Something like that for sure. Because, when we're calling a race and one of us will mention it on the broadcast, we'll get here say, "Oh, okay, write that down. Lap 41, Davey Hamilton was the one that mentioned that." So
someone will get a swift punch in the shoulder, felt but not heard type thing. Yeah.
Since I brought it up, I got broad shoulders. I'll take full responsibility for any actions from this point forward.
I was going to say, but you had to mention the C word, of course. My wife doesn't want to mention that one too often. Anyway, gentlemen, we are motor racing. Of course, we're 44 down on that 157 to go. It's been green all the way, which is fantastic. And I think, somewhere along the line here, those pit stops a lot of those drivers have taken there, and it's a bit of a mixture, but it is motor racing at its finest. And, of course, you have to thank those sponsors.
Yeah, we do want to thank our sponsors, Warriors for Peace, Foundation for Promoting Peaceful Change in the World to Honor Beautiful Life of Jack Shockley. Check out warriorsforpeace.org for more information. Also do want to thank Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg is the marketing department for small businesses, and while we're your marketing department, small business owners, Blue Eggs is your biggest fan. Constraints catalyze creativity, and I think they did that on purpose to trip us up. But we help businesses punch above their weight class. That's Blue Egg Marketing, sponsors of the IndyCar series here in the ERL.
Say that 3 times again.
No. We'll say it one more time later in the race. So,
biggest movers, biggest gainers, gentlemen, at the moment.
Yeah.
Currently, yes.
Yeah, let's get those in. The biggest mover, we talked about Nick DeGroot, P8. If we want to put the camera on him in that Motorsport 101 livery, black and yellow livery of his, he is up 16 spots. Of course, he is 23 laps on his current stint. He pitted at lap 22. We expect him right around 52, 53, 54, somewhere in there. So he is not very far on lap 46 here from making his stop. Another big mover, Caleb Bensey, P12, one of the Stowe boys. He has worked his way up from deep in the field on the verge of the top 10. A little bit further back, Seb Alexander, one of the IAR cars, the only IAR car in the lineup. He is up 14 spots to P16. And those are really our big gainers. Got some guys that are out there having some issues. We think Robert Malechka's on a strategy. He's down 14, but he's in P18. Richie Hearn back to 22nd, down 13 spots, and Johnny Thomas down 10 spots in 23rd. Jared Rexing also down 11 spots to 28th. But again, this is a long race. There's no reason to panic. There's nobody a lap, or there's only, I think there's one car a lap down. There are 3 cars, excuse me. Hunter Smith, Hossack, and Barry are lap down. Actually, Barry's actually retired. But everyone else from 30th on up still on the lead lap. If you're on the lead lap, you got a shot.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. And as you see, the first 3 cars right there, are only, the distance between them is less than a second, and that can obviously change at any time. So what a competitive race so far at lap 48. I know we still got a boatload of laps to go, and anything can happen. But so far, like I said, they've all stayed in line. They've all shown a lot of patience, and it's going to be interesting to see. Like we said, we talked about those strategies, particularly what Nick DeGroot and RM3 are on. So it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said earlier, are those going to pay off, or are they going to come back and bite them in the backside at the end?
I was going to say, biting the backside at the moment is Pinero on the back there of Ryan for the battle for P2. And just to remind everybody, an Indycar can travel a full football pitch in a second. So you're thinking about a second between these drivers, you're like, that's not that much when you're driving at this pace. But that's a football pitch.
What's a pitch?
A football field. There you go. Sorry. It's my Australian in me, my friend. But the battle for the top 3.
It's an American race and an all-American sport.
There you go. Shut up. But still, you got to think about it. This car can go from one end of the line to the other in a second. And I'll tell you what, right now, the Brazilian's thinking about it on the inside.
Inside, pulling off the pass, but he just slides up. That is what we call the Brazilian slide and the Brazilian clear. The Brazilian drivers have a knack of, once they're clear, they take every millimeter, little tiny inch, and they will slide up into that spot. And that was a classic Brazilian slide and Brazilian clear. Pinero up to P2.
I was going to say, what's a millimeter? You're talking about football pitches here. I thought it was feet. Anyway, he's chasing down Jason. Go ahead.
I think Pinero's a living, breathing definition of hooked up right now. I mean, that car, he just looks so confident in his ability to run various lines through the turns. And, that slide gives you an idea just how stuck to the track that race car is. And, it's a long race, as you said, but at least early on, his car looks to be about the fastest and certainly handling about as well as anybody's.
Well, let's remind everybody at home how the race is. The rule setup here. Here is Pinero. He's all over the backside of Brophy. This is a fixed setup race. So this is a setup that everybody is on the same setup here in the lineup. These cars have certain in-car tools available to them to use, one of which is the front roll bar, the rear roll bar, and the weight jacker. Those 3 things they can use. And here comes Pinero to the inside. It's time to lead, boys. Up to the front for Pinero. Brophy's going to take a step back. Brophy probably like, you know what? Punch a hole in the air. I will draft off you for a while. Pinero tap against the short chute wall, really close. But he's exiting off of 4 as your new leader. But they do, even in a fixed setup race, have opportunities to make their cars handle better with the roll bars and the weight jacker.
He's not giving it back, is it?
No,
Jason's
he's not,
like,
is he? I thought maybe he would ride back there.
My friend? No way that's going to happen.
I thought he would ride back there for a bit, but nope, he doesn't want to.
Just a quick observation there as we see Nick DeGroot into his pit to get some service. Mark made an interesting point about Adriano Pinero's car being hooked up, and it just can go wherever he needs it to. I remember earlier this season on one of the road courses, he was the exact same way, which if I remember correctly, he led from start to finish, and that car was hooked up there as well. And like I said, Mark, you make an interesting point, but just as and everyone else here knows, the racetrack is the one that picks the winner. It doesn't matter how hooked up his car is. At the end of the day, the racetrack is the one that picks the winner here.
And he's yet to win a race here. We know he's been everywhere he goes. Pinero, road course, short oval, super speedway, intermediate track, you name it. He's always at the front. He's yet to win here. He's got the pole, got a front row start this year, but is yet to win here. Brophy's won here many, many times in other league competition. His private label Team Hype squad. They routinely, an IndyCar Open Series, in the IIS, in Lionheart, and there's a patch for the lead, are always winning at Indianapolis. They're among the chief rivals of some of the big super power teams out there. So these two guys know what it's like to win in Indianapolis. Ryan Scholl, though, right behind him, he's trying to run him down. But he has Nick DeGroot there. DeGroot's popped out. He's a lap down, but he's right behind the leaders. And DeGroot, here's the power of fresh tires right here. And he wants to get around them. And they're, well, Brophy's like, nah, I'm going to take a shot to the inside. You're just going to wait back there. Maybe DeGroot follows through. Nope, Groot gets in line. DeGroot absolutely wants to get around these guys to get back on the lead. But he is pushing up way high. Oh, my goodness.
I was going to say, gentlemen, of course, they're racing each other at the same time, and they're going to continue to do this little switcheroo, 1 and 2 and 3. But how is that going to be managing your tires, of course, and your fuel when you're battling it out like this in the lead of this race? Like, is it, you're not really conserving anything at this point, are you? You're just going blazes, guns,
they're
firing.
they're also only in most cases 10 laps away from their next pit stop. So their tires are already pretty well spent at this point.
There you have it for the newbies out there that have never watched the Indianapolis 500 on the fantastic Elite Net Racing Network. 88 of you watching this one at the moment. We saw Miss peaked at 100, my friend. Let's see if we can get peaking to 100 if we get to 100 laps. We're at 56 of 200. Remember, a long way to go. Once again, here it is. It's the Brazilian driver of the 56 and the 88 of Jason going for it too for now. And remember, just in the background, that is a car trying to unlap themselves.
Yeah. Who is a very good driver in their own right. Speaking of good drivers, Matthew Weeks there in chat saying, dang, I should have tried to race this race. Come on, Matthew, you could have got into this thing. You know what it's like to race IndyCars now. You got yourself a win over in the Velocity Online Racing IRO 5 Series. Come on in, man. The water's fine.
That's what I said when I was swimming in Sydney Harbour, my friend, and then a shark came out there and bit me. Great work, sharks, of course, are the ones that are here, battling tooth and nail. What would you do if you're a car? You're trying to unlap yourself at the moment, but you don't want to mess with the lead races. There's no blue flags.
Guy. Yeah, you don't want to be that guy, and Nick DeGroot is not that guy, but he does want to get back on the lead lap in case something happens behind him. The best case for him is he would just stay out and get the wave around, but he does want to get on that lead lap. Look at that draft. Just bring him right up into the picture.
So, what would you do? I honestly think just let him by. Just let him by, gentlemen, because, I mean, it's hard to tell race drivers to lift. However, yeah, I mean, Nick's clearly
it could be different
quicker.
for these two. It could be different for these two up front who have had nothing but clean air in front of them. Maybe they don't want that dirty air in front of them. Narrow, high exit. Oh! Taking that Cheever line in the short chute there.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You know, Nick DeGroot is kind of in
coming to pit road.
We do have cars coming to.
Yeah, this is
to.
Ryan's coming and Chad's coming.
Jordan
big
Frankenfeld. This is a plan. This is a planned stop. This is a scheduled stop. And I think we see what happened to the other little legal car, Hunter Smith, on pit road. He's missing some key parts to the front of his car, so his day is done, as they are unable to repair that. But his teammates are on pit road. Scheduled stop for both these guys at lap 58. They did 29 laps on that stint.
I'll tell you what, those Firestones have got a little bit of tie grip in them, haven't they? The marbles are going to start forming. Beautiful conditions once again to go racing here at the moment. How is that weather temperature? It's a 117 still.
Yep.
And they're still at the moment there. Poor Nick wants to find a way past the two race leaders, 88 and the 50. Well, I'd say two race leaders because they've switched places rather than the 1929 stock exchange.
You know, if you're Nick DeGroot right now, you obviously want to get your lap back. But as you guys just pointed out a little bit ago, you know, you don't want to be that guy that takes out these top two cars. So if you're Nick, what do you do at this point? I mean, on one hand, obviously you want to race hard and get your lap back. But yet again, on the other hand, you don't want to run too hard where you take one of these top two cars out. So the best strategy, you think, for Nick right now is to sit and wait this out?
Gamble, wait. Yeah, hopefully there's not a caution. And meanwhile, you're taking the benefit of being in their draft. So he's just making this next stint of his even longer. So he knows that these cars now are now Brophy 28 laps on his current stint, Panero 30 laps on his current stint. So I expect Panero in any time. they'll just get out of his way eventually, and he just passes them the easy way on pit road.
We've got Kevin going down the pit road there, and Mark at the moment. So that's the 00 machine in the 96. That 00. Roll that one up on your roulette wheel.
Pit road.
Yep, exactly. Jason's coming down, gentlemen. Spot your
Oh,
braking
did he
marker,
slow
my
down?
friend.
Did he slow
speed.
down?
Oh,
We will see.
I don't know.
Yeah, we will see if he has to get a 40-second hold.
Oh, how big of mistake could that be for Jason Brophy? Been running up towards the front for 62 laps and make just a mental mistake like that. That could be disastrous.
Let's see if he goes up on the
tires. That is the Dixon, as they call it.
He's up on the. Is he up on the jacks? No, he's not up on the jacks at the moment, gentlemen. I'm sitting there. He is up the jacks. Sorry. Oh my God! Don't throw the wheel gun in my face at the moment. I'm trying to report this from pit road. There we go. He's back out.
Yeah, 9.5 seconds stop, 35.3 on pit road.
Leaders in.
In case you don't know, if you're watching, they got to those yellow cones right there, just at the entry of the pits there to get down to pit road speed. They do have a speed limiter button that they can hit, and then they can pretty much keep their car throttled all the way down to their stop, and they would never exceed the pit road speed. But sometimes you don't hit the button, sometimes you pass those cones, and you're going to get caught.
I have to tell that to a policeman when he pulls me over on the freeway, running a little bit over the speed. There you go. I'm sorry, I didn't press the pit lane button. And there you go. So Pinero is back out at the moment, probably slotting around the 20-something and second spot, gentlemen.
Pit road speed is 60 miles per hour, everybody, by the way.
So just tell the cop next time you didn't see the cones.
Yeah, I don't suggest that out there for everybody watching at the moment to try that one. But we have a few more drivers coming down pit road. It's Chris and Justin. That's the 13-26.
So as you see, DeGroot getting around back now on the lead lap. He's in front of your current leader as we are now in the middle of second round of green flag pit stops. Ethan Stanley going long as well. Tyler Fode going on. Butch Davis strategically getting himself in good position there in that STP throwback. He is currently in fourth. Caleb Binsey, my man, 19th spot. Good job, Caleb. I know the family is watching at home. They've heard me call moody wins of his in other series. I want to say hi, Mom and Dad. We know you're watching. Caleb Binsey, your boy, up the fourth spot while we're overlapping pit stops right now. He is currently 32 laps into his current stint. He is due on pit road any time there, and that's So Motorsports Dallara.
More drivers coming in. Johnny Thomas there, Jared Rexing, and Ethan. They're all coming down the pit road at the moment there. So get those fresh boots on there, my friends. Get that little tear off on your racing screen there. Get an autograph, of course, from me. And here we have more. Tyler's coming in. Butch is coming in. So there's your second and third. Big lockups.
Stanley staying out. And he's now got the draft of DeGroot. He can stretch it just a little bit. Like I say it all the time. Every little drop counts. Every little drop counts.
And the longer this thing stays green, the more those drops are going to count when it comes to that pit strategy. The longer you can spread that window out, and the longer this stays green, the better it is.
Gavin Hibbs now up to second in that John Menard-looking throwback there. And right behind him, one of my part-time broadcast partners at Raceverse, Nick Sudik there in third. Seb Alexander, 26 spots improved as we are overlapping pit stops right now. Here comes Hibbs, and Gavin, here comes Seb Alexander.
Yep, there you go. So there's the Norwegian driver as well, to the only Norwegian driver of the grid, of course, and Gavin Hibbs. So spot your markers correctly, gentlemen, because every second counts, of course, in the Indy 500 series.
So now as we overlap pit stops, Stanley, Sudik, Presley Sora up 19 spots. And here is RM3 creeping back into the top 5. He is currently P4. And one of the flying Brazilians, Victor Del Porto, up to 5th. Here comes Stanley finally answering the call to pit road.
Oh, big lock up. Oh, they can stick at the moment because I'll tell you what, those policemen are there with the radar
pit
gun.
Road. Sora on pit
Everybody
road.
else is following.
Except Robert Malechka. He is now your leader.
Just funny how things cycle out like that when somebody that when we thought was falling back for and maybe had an issue. Nope, just on my own strategy, and so far so good.
Hitting the number, hitting the number.
Yep. All about timing and hitting that number.
He is 31 laps into his
keep an eye on that Brazilian driver in P6 or so and change you to get past him because he boxed, remember, on lap 62. Remember, Jason boxed on lap 61. So they got the freshest boots in town. They got the gasoline to take this one further and further. Of course, no yellows. We mentioned that in the chat. It's all been green so far at the moment. We want the green machine challenging at the moment. Jason, they've been doing this all racing long, gentlemen. They're back at it at the moment.
There you go, Mark. Dino said it. Lap 69.
All right. Good. You can take the weight off my shoulders then. Good deal.
Yeah, it's just been amazing. I mean, obviously the level of skill and talent, just how clean this has been and how competitive it's been, and now we've reached the point to where we've had such a long green flag stint in this race that. The pit strategy is what makes this race compelling for sure.
Molechka is 33 laps into his current stint. He stayed out 36. The longest run I've ever seen someone do is a 38, and that involved caution laps.
And Pinero gets past Jason for potentially the lead of this race once everybody pits, as you said there. So Victor De Poro there and Chad Simpson goes down there. Another challenge for potentially the net lead of this race. These gentlemen are not going to give it up. I swear. Let us know on the chat at the moment. 131 to go. I think it might be a showdown between these two Top Guns.
They need to be fast, and they need to help each other be fast. Otherwise, you're right, Molechka might stop and get out in front of these groups, these two, and they don't want that. So if they can help each other and cooperate and be fast and get out in front of Molechka, I'd rather be in front of Molechka instead of having Molechka in front of me.
Yeah, you want to be the you don't want him to be hunting you down as this race ticks away. But one interesting note I've seen, especially in this cycle of pit stops, I'm amazed of how many cars are locking up their brakes coming down pit road. I know they had a little bit of practice, but it's just it's amazing to me the amount of cars so far that have to lock up their brakes when they get to those cones there, so they're not caught speeding.
Well, Roberto's going to pit road at the moment. Let's see if he can lock it. He doesn't lock it up. Actually, he does a good job.
Well, I mean, there's a reason for that. I mean, and it's down to physics. But to help ease the drag on these cars, at least in the real world when it comes to these cars, they have really tiny brake discs. And so they actually kind of warm up and prime the brakes even before they come in and kind of get everything warmed up so they're not hitting pit road with cold discs. You don't really have to do that in this game, but you are going to have probably cold braking discs in these cars coming to pit road. And so when they hit those cones with these small discs, all of a sudden, they're locking up. They're applying a little too much pressure. Now, there's things that they can do to alleviate that. Here's a battle for the lead once more going into 3, and that's play with the brake bias.
I was going to say, Gary, I'm going to throw you out of the comms box right now if you call this a game. This is a racing simulation, my friend. This is about the best thing you can get to closest real simulation, apart from the G-forces, of course, and the fear of crashing. And these two are going for it tooth and nail again. Look at that giggle down the road there. You see them on the on the front stretch. They are just tooth and nail. And this is now legitimate racing, I have to say, because they've taken their pit stops. And if you call that a game again, Gary, we're going to be talking later on the car park.
It's just a game. Look at the guy. Look at this group behind him, led by Butch, involving Butch Davis. Butch Davis on the outside of Ethan Stanley, who just got involved or finished with that last pit stop. And then here comes Frankenfeld up to third, up 12 spots. Frankenfeld, you called it, Mark. Frankenfeld said that he was calling his shot. And very similar to Newgarden last year, who started kind of in that the mid-teens. He's now up in a position that if there's a caution, and it's my fault, lap 73, he is in a place where he is now in a position to be direct contact with the leaders.
Yeah, I've been very patient for sure, given where he started. And again, the pit strategy has allowed him to pick positions up.
Well, let's reset the field now as pit stops are done. Robert Molechka did pit. Just to give you an update on Molechka, he went 35 laps on that stint, so 1 lap less. Pinero is now your leader as he swaps it back and forth with Brophy. They have themselves about a 3-second lead over the host with the most, Chad Frankenfeld. He is in 3rd now. Tyler Fode is in 4th. Ethan Stanley is in 5th. Butch Davis still charging along in 6th. Ryan Schold in 7th. Caleb Binsey, my man, in 8th. Christopher, he's got some multiple Lionheart wins, and they just got a battle for 8th side by side going into 1 right there. Stouffer up to 8th. Bincy now 9th, and Forsyth, the other 4D car to Stouffer. They are both teammates. Craig Forsyth, another guy that I've raced against and with as a teammate, he is up to 10th.
I think it's safe to say here from this point forward, this action on the track with the passes and everything else is just going to be becoming more hot and heavy as we get closer to lap 200 and that money lap.
And we're seeing these two leaders, they're cooperating and they're pulling away from P3 as P3 and 4 are fighting with each other too much. They've now fallen 4 seconds abreast of these top two.
You think they're cooperating? At the moment, I'm scared about parking my car in the out of there and what was it, turn 3 or something like that, if you're going to go back to the 2023 Indianapolis 500, and thankfully nobody was hurt on that one. The wheels won't be shining and flying over the safety screens at the moment because the battle for P3, 4, 5, and 6 is all brewing up here.
Yeah, this is really, Mark, this kind of really reminds me of the 2021 Indy 500 where we just had a lot of green flag racing. We only had that one real caution with Ray Hall in turn 2 where he lost his wheel, and frankly, he probably was going to be in a position to win that race if he pulled that pit stop off. But this is really, this pace and everything is really giving me the vibes from the 2021 Indy 500.
Really?
Yeah, very similar to it for sure.
Sorry. I had to go with the wheelie pun. Go talk. Go ahead.
Someone mute him.
unless they're willing to get hooked up from Frankenfield on back, they're going to continue to lose that lead draft.
They are hemorrhaging right now, 4.5 seconds back. They were 3 a couple laps ago, and they're just now hemorrhaging time. They really got to cooperate. I think they are. I'm looking at them right now. They're doing a bit of a swap in the drafting at the front. But right now, the clock says they're not gaining. Man, this battle between Bincy and Stouffer in 8th. Well, you know what? Now I'm looking at it. They're cooperating. They have to do the same thing because Bincy up to Schold is 4 seconds. So we got 3 packs. We got the 2 leaders. We got 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th in a pack. And then 8th, 9th, 10th on back in another pack.
Yeah, I think you guys are absolutely right that is their only choice right now is to go single file and ride along for a little bit and try to cut into that lead that Brophy and Panero have the advantage with, because if they don't do that, you can see that lead continuing to grow up to 5 seconds now.
Yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my friend right now. And a lot of these guys are now halfway through their 3rd stint. So really, we're looking at about 6 stops. More than 6 to get there. What they want to do is they want to get rid of that partial last stop. That's the one that they're trying to save miles on. Very simple math. Just take, roughly, it's going to be 200 divided by 30. And that will give you your very haunting number of 6.666 repeating. But what they want to do is they want to get that down to 6 or less. 6 or less. 1 less stop.
You know, just watching these first 2 front cars here just absolutely pull away is amazing to me. You know, you talked about earlier about how these setups are the same, but these 2 cars here have hit on the setups.
Yeah.
I think that's that's an accomplishment in itself with the cars being as equal as they are.
Well, there's our tips and tricks you can use on these cars to make them a little bit faster, certainly with the weight tracker. Mark, you've started it with qualification coverage when you'll hear the drivers you tell the pits, the drivers, to stay on your tools, and you'll watch them go down the backstretch, and they're actually hitting their weight jacker to lower their car. And then when they'll raise their weight jacker when they get to the turn, so they can help their car handle through the turn. They're doing the same thing here. A lot of these drivers are going to have hotkeys on their wheels And when they're going down the straight, they are hitting that button. They are lowering that right rear. They're keeping that right rear wing and that right rear pod out of the air. And they're getting critical tenths on everybody else that aren't playing these kind of same weight jacker games as everyone else. But it's part of the game. It's nothing illegal. It's all legit. And they do in real IndyCar racing. You hear it right there when they do qualifications for the 500 coming up.
Yeah, when you get an opportunity to make some long runs and practice sessions, this is when you start to see the race pace, and you see them get comfortable with race car. I've had a chance to be a part of a show a couple of nights ago with Mike Cole, and he was talking about the approach to practice at Indy for the week, and he said, we really don't look to work much on qualifying setup until Thursday afternoon, and then again on Friday. We hope to spend Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday doing nothing but long runs and coming up with a really good race car. And this is the result of spending a lot of wheel time and putting together a really good race car.
And it makes sense, too, because by the time they get to Friday, then they turn the wick up. And what you might have had a good qualifying setup earlier in the week when you didn't have the additional boost, that additional boost makes you go faster, and that setup you might have had in the middle of the week ain't no good anymore. There we see DeGroot on the pit road exit. He has made his third stop. He's going to join that second group right before the third group. So DeGroot is still a lap down, but he is now 3 laps into this thing. Or, excuse me, 3 stops into this thing. Pinero, the leader. Brophy is kind of stabilized a little bit at the front. They're working on it, though. Here's another move to the inside.
6 gear.
Pinero, man, got too close to the wall. He had to jerk the wheel.
Yeah, this one becomes difficult at the moment, gentlemen, because, they've been racing tooth and nail this whole fantastic IndyCar Series course, race 10 of the 12th running. And there it is. And so they're going to be switcherooing it again. I'm just concerned because it's like Prost and Senna back in the Formula One days. They're going to go for it. They're both equal on pace. And unfortunately, that wall comes out.
Pinero's loose. Pinero is loose. Right. He has worn that right rear out. That's going to cost him momentum down the front stretch. You saw it in 3 when the back end started coming around. He almost smacked the wall. You see, look at him taking that higher line.
Well,
he's trying not to turn that wheel.
Yeah, but my friend, the wall came out and hit him, not the other way around,
Right. This is a living, breathing place, yes.
Yeah, there you go, my friend. But this is the best. I've never seen an IndyCar race where these two leaders leading almost every single lap so far, at least 86 of them, after pit stops. They're still 2 for now. They can't be separated right now.
I think he actually kissed the wall that time. If not, that was netcode. If that says he kissed it.
Shh. iRacing does like netcode, my friend. That's just walls biting you. All right.
Well,
Chad's going to pit road.
Yeah, and these cars are victims of netcode, the worst victims of netcode, because the physics of how this works is it's predictive software. When it sees a collision happening, it needs to make the game execute. And yes, I called it the game, but this is just explaining netcode. And so what netcode does is sometimes it thinks that the car is going to hit each other even though they don't directly make contact, and you'll watch a wreck happen even though when there's no directly any contact whatsoever. There could be a complete wheel between the 2 cars, but you can see one car impact the other car and spin them around. And that's just awful netcode here. And the reason why is these cars travel too fast. They're so fast that the predictive software has a hard time keeping up. 87 of 200. Man, we're coming up to the halfway point. This is great. Pit stops are occurring right now. Little Eagle guys coming off pit road for their 3rd scheduled stop. And they're coming out with the leaders.
You don't want to split them, do you? Because Jason had to back off a little bit. Oh, there's traffic. So this will be interesting, gentlemen. And, get your popcorn ready, all right? 87 you'll be watching here for the Elite Racing Network. Popcorn courtesy and provided for free for the Elite Racing Network.
And again, all those watching home, thanks for watching. Make sure to smash that like button. We really would appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Ring the bell so you don't miss out on the next IndyCar race, which is going to be, I believe, Texas. I'll be in the booth for that. Watching the leader, Adriano Pinero, Jason Brophy, who actually won the earlier 500 this year at Pocono in the series. He actually went 2 laps down there. He pulled a Jacques Villeneuve on everybody. Came back from 2 laps down to win that race. And
Go back to Gary. Sorry.
what's that? No, if I just went a little too much on everybody there. Jacques Villeneuve, 95 Indy 500, went 2 laps down.
Yeah,
he went 2 laps down and he won that one. So
Formula One driver, Nigel Mansell as well too, dominated one of those seasons. But look at this, P13. You said Robert, right? That was one of your picks. Okay, the number 1 machine.
Yep.
He's boxed back in lap 71, my friend. So he's got a lot fresher boots and a lot fresher fuel. And you said he may be able to be a big changer in this one. And I tell you what, a few other drivers, Kevin Hayes is going into pit road, the P20. Do you still think he's got a shot to win this one?
100%, absolutely. Until he wrecks out, and I never count out Robert Malechka.
Jason's got in pit road at the moment. Jason Brafield from P2. So, yeah, this is the round of pit stops that you were all expecting out there.
Yeah, Brophy's coming in 28 laps on this stint. He went 29 last time, so he's 1 lap short. Car's sideways on pit road. Not sure who that is, but that could be a problem. Eric Mercado getting around him.
How do you do a turn like that in a bloody pit road, my friend? The steering is not that good for the... It reminds me of the Austin Powers movie.
They do have reverse. Pinero staying out an extra lap. Man, he's loose. He is so loose. I'd like to see what his in-car looks like. He's got to be working that wheel.
Work that wheel. Shake it like a Polaroid picture, if anybody even realizes what a Polaroid picture would be these days, my friend. Well, you and I would. But here we go.
He almost hit the wall in turn 2. He is really, really loose. He is fighting turning that wheel. I wonder what the wind is in that area.
Get down there and check it for you really quickly, my friend.
Hey, go stick a finger in your mouth and hold it up in the air.
It's about 4 miles per hour. There you go.
Car in front of him. Here he comes to pit road. He has a slower car in front of him. Oh. Whoa. Whoa.
You notice there the two. You notice the two lead.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, you just noticed the 2 lead cars there had to dodge a bullet right there with Adriano Pinero coming in the pits. And then when Jason Brophy was leaving, the Kevin Hayes car was the one that got sideways. So as you see the overhead view here, both of the leaders dodging bullets here at the Indianapolis 500.
Oh, and Pinero missed his marks, and he had to roll back, so that's going to cost him on pit road a little bit. 9.4 seconds in the box. And I believe that was Mark Rebilas in front of him, but Mark was coming for a scheduled stop. He did nothing wrong. It just the leaders were coming, and they were hot, and I'm surprised he got it down in time. I mean, that's just credit to his skill set that he was able to do that.
You're right, Pinero is clear a couple of cars at the moment. He's going to be battling it side by side. He got to tuck in behind there currently moment with Jason. So there it is. You cannot separate these two here at the Indianapolis 500 for the Elite Racing Network.
And as pit stops are occurring here at lap 94, still have a host of drivers that have not stopped yet. Ethan Stanley, now your leader, as we're in the overlap period. Tyler Fody, P2. Butch Davis, P3. Caleb Bency, stand up, Stowe, Ohio. He is P4. Craig Forsyth, stand up, Canada. He's up to P5. Chris Samard, P6. Gavin Hibbs with a win earlier this season at New Hampshire, P7. Seb Alexander, let's hear it, Europe. Let's hear it, Scandinavia. He is up to P7. Nick Sudik, the whole state of Northern Ohio. Portion of Northern Ohio is cheering for this guy. He's up to 8th. And Robert Malechka, he represents Michigan, just up the road a piece, and he is now in 9th on his alternate strategy.
Road. Oh, quick in and out. There might be a very short stop. That's going to be fuel only for Ethan Stanley. That's the 91 machine. And 18th place slotting out. Maybe got to drop a few more. There you go. So we'll see how it's going to pan this one out. 95, gentlemen. 106 to go.
Stanley got tires. So a little on Butch Davis here in P2. I raced against this guy back when we did offline IndyCar racing with Papyrus, which is the predecessor to everything you see right here. Even the design team is one of the design teams that helped design iRacing. They created a game called IndyCar Racing in '93, and then they had a successor to it called IndyCar Racing 2. And what we did is we did offline racing back in those days. We didn't connect with a modem or anything. Even though later days you could do the modem, and then of course everybody's broadband at home right now. But what we would do is we'd do offline racing, submit our results, and compare each other against everyone else in the field. And that's how you determine there was a winner. And he was one of the people that I raced back. This is now 20, 30 years now. I mean, this is how long some people have actually been sim racing.
Did
Butch
you have
Davis,
internet
now
back
your
then?
leader.
Yeah, I was going to say Tyler's in at the moment. Chris is in, and Gavin Hibbs. Sorry to cut you off there. I'm about as old as you are, my friend. Could be dial-up racing, but there it is. So a few more drivers down the pit road. The moment Butch leading there from the Norwegian. I'd have to say he's not going to like it, but you know what? He's a Viking when he's driving that car. 28 positions gained. Currently running P2.
I have Norwegian heritage, so he's my brother out there, and he is up to P2, 28 spots. Of course, we've seen drivers in real Indy 500 history come from that far back, get up to the front, almost win. Scott Goodyear, Tom Sneva, Mario Andretti, each one of them almost win, but just fell a little short. Maybe today's different for Seb Alexander.
Yeah, here's one for Butch is in the lead at the moment going to pit road. Here's one for you. When's the last Scandinavian driver to win an Indy 500? Could be easy for you, right?
Well, that's Ericsson.
Of course. Well, there you go. Damn it. I should have left that one for the chat. 80 of you watching right now as we're seeing Butch in the lead. And guess what? Talking about another Scandinavian driver, Alexander in the lead. Seb. But then again, he's gone 66 laps down since his last pit road experience. And about to approach 100, my friend. About to approach 100 out of the 200.
I got one for you, Dino. So Team Hinske has amassed 19 wins between 14 different drivers. Can you name those 14 different drivers?
You can't throw that on me, my friend, because I'm only open wheel F1. No,
Mark will put you on the spot. Mark, tell me the 14 different drivers.
Put this
in the chat. We've got 100. We only have 100 laps left, so.
Seb's in and Craig's in, gentlemen. So you have the Norwegian driver and the Canadian driver at the moment. So they share pretty much borders together as well too. So Norway and bloody Canada is very close on the track and in the pit road. And that's for the chat, by the way, to your question you asked.
Yeah, Nick Sudik is your leader. He last pitted 32 laps ago on lap 68. Right behind him, Robert Malechka, 28 laps into his current stint. Went 35 on his second stint, last pitted on 72. And just in case anyone's wondering, the official Indycar Indianapolis Motor Speedway Indy 500 race average was set in 2021 by Castro Neves, so it's a relatively new record, 190.690. We are well ahead of that.
At the moment, I'm wondering if Ethan Stanley at the moment can get ahead currently of Chad, and they're going side by side down there for P9 and P10. And you got to remember, gentlemen, they've been in and out of pit road since lap 94. And, Chad's been down there 86. So I think those little tires, and we're going to see Presley Sora there for the 98 machine going to pit road.
Let's go around Sudik. So still waiting to make this next stop. Malechka, Sudik, Del Porto, Traiano. Brazilians have surged to the front. Simpson, there in that satellite racing entry. Presley Sora now up to 6th. Now he's pitting right now, so that's going to put Brophy and Pinero up to 6th and 7th.
Ethan Stanley on the inside there of Pinero, and that's 56 and 91. Well, we heard that one before. They're going for it too for now as well, as they're going to be lapping by everybody. They boxed. They got fresh tires. They got fresh gasoline, my friend, as we just approached halfway over there. Hello, and of course Nicholas has gone in.
Other than trips to pit road, I don't think Brophy and Pinero have been separated by more than 2/10 the entire race.
No. Not at all. They've been each other's shadow.
Yeah,
they've been twins, isn't it? I told you, I really do believe, and let us know in the chat out there. Do you think who's going to win it between those two? Because honestly, I think they're on for the.
They're marred in traffic right now. Brophy's got Thomas, Mikado, and Spath in front of him. Specifically, Thomas and Mikado, and Hayes is also involved there. I think Hayes is who we saw sideways on pit road. And this,
Oh,
they
this
don't
is
want
spicy.
to. Hayes, right rear, hit the wall on corner entry. He can't hit that wall and bounce off and hit the leaders.
Where do you go, gentlemen? Where do you go? You hope the cars move out of the way. No blue flags. It's not Formula One. He got shut the door down at the moment. We have a blinker in the foreground.
Yeah, Mikado blinking. Treading lightly around these guys in the back. Maybe not as handling as well as the leaders have. Just having a rough day. And put Hayes into the wall there. So he might be sporting a little damage after smacking the south chute wall.
Gotta buy it flowers first, my friend, if you're gonna take a visit to the wall for a nice dinner.
Ropey going to the high side. Whoa. Trying to get around Thomas. Does. Now's a chance to actually try to put some distance between himself and Pinero. He's going to take a look to the inside of Mikado.
Use the lap traffic because you judge where this car's going to go exactly. So he's down quite a bit of time here.
Yeah. Last lap, 2:19.2.
Get your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen, ready. And this is going to be fun.
More splitting off. Troiano and Simpson hitting pit road. They both went 34 and 35 laps, respectively. We're now starting lap 34 for Robert Malechka. Last time he went 35. First time he went 36. So can he better or equal what he's done so far? But he is now eating into that final stop lap count, and that just means a shorter fill.
Yeah, for our race analysis out there, explain the shorter fill to drivers, well, people that don't drive like me, that just love IndyCar.
Well, here comes Malechka. So a shorter fill just means less fuel you have to put in the car, less time on pit road.
It also means you don't get to the gas station in time, do you? Hopefully, get to see the checkered flag.
Unless you are actually named Phil, and that's just not a heist joke. We're not making fun of anybody.
Roberto's going to the pit road at the moment there from the lead. So that will be the lead again for the two gladiators have led this race.
I like how you call him Roberto.
From the start. So Jason and, of course, Bernardo are going for it tooth and nail again on 107 or 200. I tell you what, gentlemen, I don't know. I'm not one for gambling, but if I had to put my money on anyone, it's going to be one of those two drivers to win the Indy 500.
We still got a long way to go. Frankenfeld back there in third, 6 seconds back from this battle. Stanley right there with them. They're both swapping the draft, trying to desperately reel these two guys in. They've been doing that for the better part of the last stint and this stint now, and they're just not getting anywhere right now. That's about a straightaway lead. Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
I was just, thinking, how frustrating is it between, Ethan Stanley, Chad Frankenfield behind cars 1 and 2 that you can't, there's nothing you can do if no one else is going to get single file to cut into the lead that Pinero and Brophy, collectively have gained.
It's awful. They have their foot buried as far as it's going to go. The car's going to behave as best as it's going to do. And they need a caution to help catch up. And right now, these cars are so separated because of the green flag pit stops that we don't really have a lot of direct wheel-to-wheel battles. That's normally where your caution is going to occur. They're not getting that right now. And they're not getting the cooperation and speed on the racetrack. So it is very frustrating.
And Chad and Ethan going side by side at the moment. You're mentioning that one as well as still to battle from P1 to P2. And they're throwing this one at the moment there, Mr. Walking Wikipedia there, of knowledge of IndyCar. When's the last time IndyCar 500 has had a green flag race from start to end?
Never.
This could be the first then. The Elite Racing Network.
It's the real Indy 500. The closest we've done is I still think it's that 21 500. I think we had Mark. We had 2 cautions. We had the incident on pit road with Stefan and the wheel coming off of Ray Hall.
Yep. I think if this holds true to form, you're looking at about the timing between lap 168, 175 could tell you who's going to win this race when they come to pit road for the final time.
Yeah, that is exactly when the window is going to open for that last stop.
Well, last stop, not last spot. Unfortunately, without the cautions, you don't get a chance to shout out those fantastic sponsors, my dear friends, that have put this fantastic racing lead together with this fantastic 34 Gladiators right now, as we see another switcheroo of the race lead.
Let's give the guys at Blue Egg Market another mention here. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the complex track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels. Accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big. Also brought to you by Worldwide Technology Raceway, formerly Gateway. It is a motorsport facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri, close to the Gateway Arch. In fact, you can see it right there from the place. It features a 1.25-mile oval that will feature the NTT Indycar Series later this season, a 2.0-mile infield road course used by Speed Tour, Trans Am, SCCA, and the Porsche Club of America, and a quarter-mile NHR-sanctioned drag strip that hosts the annual NHR Camping World Drag Racing Series Midwest Nationals event. And believe it or not, this is the only racetrack in America that hosts IndyCar, NASCAR, and NHRA. So you want to check out Worldwide Technology Raceway, or I like to call it Gateway.
Use that again. That sounded brilliant. Anyway, and also don't forget that this stadium was packed out during the solar eclipse just recently as well too. So, but guess what? You don't need to be a solar eclipse to see these two drivers. Yeah, well, eclipsing each other side by side to the Battle of P1 again and again and again. You're not seeing a repeat. This is not a replay. This is the two best gladiators going for it tooth and nail. And as well, too, forget about that. P3 and P4 also battling.
Yeah, the Speedway had a great event with the latest eclipse. Of course, the path of totality passed directly over Indianapolis. I think they had right around 50,000 people in the stands for that race, or for that event. They actually did some test laps and exhibition laps out there for everyone to see. And not only could you go get a autograph of your favorite driver, they had astronauts there too to get their autograph. How freaking cool is that?
Doug Molson, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 70-80% of the people who visited that event during the eclipse were first-time visitors to IMS.
Believe it, I hope they liked it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully 85% of, or 82 of you at the moment are visiting the Elite Racing Network. And I hope that you're going to hit that subscribe button, because it's one of the best racing networks. And you know what? This is probably the best racing Indianapolis virtual racing you're going to get. And though Lee Diffie at the moment there might disagree with that one because he does the real events. But Lee, come on, this is the best esports virtual racing. And don't you call it a game. I swear I'm going to murder you at the moment that Gary, if you call it a game. You know how much drivers spend on their racing rigs, my friend? Thousands of dollars.
I'm right up there. I have myself a GSI wheel and a Simicube wheelbase and a set of Acertec Invicta pedals. I've spent my fair share.
As we see Nick DeGroot come in the pits, this could potentially be maybe his last stop here.
He's going to have one more. This is coming in for end of his fourth stint, 31 laps this time. So let's see where he is right now. He's coming down to, is he done on pit road? Yeah, I think he's rolling out. So he has been doing 31 lap stints. So if we break out the old calculator, two more. So he's at 116. So his next stop will be right around 150, 147, and his final stop is right within the Groot strategy of right in that 170, 78 range. Someone in chat says, my rig is over 10K. Please don't tell my wife.
Man, he must have hid that price for a long time.
Say,
she doesn't know.
We got some come on Fody and Stan. Right? Yeah, no kidding. We got Caleb in chat here saying, come on Fody and Stanley. Rooting for those guys. They're doing pretty good. They're up in the top 5. Thanks for all the interactions in chat. Would appreciate it. Frankenfeld, pit road, I think.
I'm glad that person. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm glad that person clarified. That's also Aussie, so it's probably about $500 in American. Okay, I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah, but I think you got a little bit more than like a G29 wheel or something, buddy. I'm sure you got some good gear. Frankenfeld done. This is his 4th stop, down and away, in 9.8 seconds. So what they're on a rev, or not a rev limiter, but a speed limiter button. They hit that button right there at those green cones, and now they're free to give it as much gas as they can so they can keep it here on the pit access road. They can go up here, right up to that white line, help the entrance, then the 3 on the road, and then where this blue cones are, that's where they can rejoin and merge in with the field. So a nice and safe stop for Frankenfeld, currently in 24th. Track temps coming up a little bit, 125. Air temp ambient, 77. We're now 119, coming to 120 of 280 to go. Brophy, Pinero, Stanley, Fody, Davis, your top 5. Bency, Stouffer, Alexander, Samard, and Fortner, your top 10. And Robert Milewska, right there, P11, just lurking. Some other big gainers that we've seen in the lineup. A little bit further down, Troiano, one of the fast Brazilians, up 14 spots. Chad Simpson in that satellite racing entry in 10th. Logan Spath, stand up still again. He's up 10 spots. Mikado, right here in the same picture with the leaders, right behind him, coming to pit road with Brophy. He is up 12. Ethan Burrell, haven't given him much of a shout out all race long. He's up 10. Brophy coming in for lap 20. I think he's going to cross start finish line, come to 30 laps on this stint possibly. See what the timing and scoring says. But hitting his marks. So he stayed at 29. So he did not carry over to that 30. So he got 29, 29 last 2 stints. Showing him coming in at lap 120. So his next lap or his next pit approximately is going to be 150, give or take, right in that neighborhood. Pit stops are happening. Pinero, 29 laps into his stint. He's due on pit road anytime. Ethan Stanley, 9 seconds back from the leader. 27 laps on his current stint. He is 27 laps his last stint, so he's probably due into this time. Tyler Fody, 25 laps on his stint. He went 31 last time, so he might have some extra laps in the tank there. Caleb Bency, right there, P4. He is 26 laps on his current stint. Went 30 last time. He has worked his way up 19 spots. And Butch Davis. Let's hear it for the old guys out there. Butch Davis up to 5th. Chris Stouffer 6th there in the 4D entry. Seb Alexander, IAR coming to, he's going to stay on the racetrack. Stouffer coming to pit road. Samard 8th, Fortner 9th. Milewska now inside the top 10.
Yeah, there's absolutely some guys up there in the top 10 that are having great runs there, just as you mentioned.
Pinero,
but as we see it, Pinero finally going to come in and relinquish the lead here on lap 123.
30 laps. So he met what he did last time, so 30 and 30. So that should put him right around, if he stays in that predictability area. It doesn't save any fuel, just comes in at 30, about 153, 154 next time. That moves Stanley to the lead. Bency now in second. Boy, these guys that have worked their way up to the lead deep in the pack, well, how beneficial would it be if we get a FCY right now? I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Stouffer into the wall right in front of your leader, Bency. He recovers, bounces off it, gets back behind Bency, but a holy crap moment there for Benzie. You don't really expect to see Stouffer really, he's such a skillful driver, bounce off the wall at all, but it's just the nature of the beast out there as the temperatures are really starting to impact the way these cars are handling.
You just had to say it, didn't you?
FCY. Tyler Fody getting around Stouffer.
Ethan Stelly down the pit road at the moment. He's gone exiting. Oh, get on the gas pedal. There it is. Careful the tires. They're cold. They're cold. They're cold.
Yeah, it's going to take a better part of a lap to bring them up to more of the temperature. The biggest thing is bringing the car up to speed where you have all the downforce that you're expecting to have in the car all the time. Keep in mind, when you're running at lower speeds, you don't have all that downforce. So you're hitting turn 3 at a slower speed than you normally do when you're coming up to speed off a pit stop. You might find the car a little slidey in turn 3. Not as much as it was handling well before. The next time you hit turn 3, though, it'll probably feel a lot better.
He's also came out right in the hot spot zone, of course, of Jason battling it out there with Adrio. And we're seeing Caleb Balenci.
Caleb Benzie at pit road. Yep. That turns the lead over to Fody, who is going long. He went 31 last time, so he's at lap 30 this time of his stint. So we might see him next time. Butch Davis right with him. Butch went really long last time. He's went 33 laps on his stint. He's only 28 into this one, so he might just be able to make a few more laps and get some credit for getting some lap lead money, virtual money.
I was wondering about your man currently running in P4 at the moment, the number 1 machine. Roberto, the third, he is 106 laps he boxed at the moment. So he's got fresh tires, fresh gasoline, and a spirit to perhaps take the IndyCar series here.
I always laugh when you call him Roberto because drivers named Roberto haven't had the greatest track record at the Speedway as of late.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, Roberto.
Although Guerrero, speaking of the Hearn 500 that Hearn was in '96, Guerrero, I think, did lead the most laps that year, but he's better known as was one of the holding the lap record for a little while. But of course, that little gaff on the backstretch in coming to the green flag in the '92 race, where kind of spun the tires and spun off to the infield.
There has never been a crazier last 30 or 35 laps than the '87 500, which Alan's your senior. The last 30 or 35 laps of that race.
Sorry to cut you off there. Tyler's going in at the moment there from the essentially the P1, P2 position. But I'll tell you what, still, Jason and Pedaro are still going for it too for now. I'm surprised. You guys are talking about cautions. Hopefully we're not going to have one here this evening. We have the first ever recorded in history Indy 500 not going into caution, but they are going for it too for now, gentlemen. It's like Siamese twins. It's like who wants to run to the buffet earlier there and get the best meal in town. Of course, the meal in town.
So Mark, in that '87 500, I was in a school. I grew up in Indianapolis. I was in elementary school in Indianapolis. I was 87, and so I'd have been 13, I think. And we would have been in junior high then, and the class would have a pool where you pick a driver, and then the kid that won had picked the winning driver would like get a Coke from the teacher or something right? Something low, right? No, a little fancy, but nothing fancy. I had Guerrero, and I remember when I picked him because I knew he finished second, third, and fourth the previous 3 years. I'm like, okay, this is good. This feels good. And when he took the lead in that Granatelli car, I'm like, yes. And then when he stalled out on pit road, I remember hearing it on the Speedway Network because you guys were our soundtrack for the city of Indianapolis who could not see the race otherwise until later that night. You were our soundtrack. And the pain that he had on pit road, stalling that car over and over again, and then giving Al Sr. his 4th win. And I was crushed. I was happy for Al Sr. to get that 4th win, but I was just crushed that I lost that race.
I first met him when he drove for Alan Pagan when I joined the series, and then when he drove a few years for Price Cobb. And I can tell you, never been a classier guy in the IndyCar series than Roberto Guerrero for sure. One of those what-if stories is part of the tapestry of the race, no doubt about it.
Yeah, this track gave to him, but it also tried to take it away from him. He got a nasty wreck that put him on the sideline for the longest time, but he was still able to come back. And he's one of my racing heroes for sure.
Yep.
But he just had a whole bunch of bad luck after those first 3 years of good luck.
You know, I haven't been to the 500 as much as the rest of you have.
Well,
But
these
the
are old
mo-
guys, my friend. Yeah,
but
they've been
my
around.
I wasn't going to call them old, so that's why I chose my words wisely. But the most interesting and exciting 500 I've been to is actually the first one that I went to back when Sam Hornish Jr. came out of nowhere to take the win there. I believe it was Marco Andretti that he stole the win from.
Yep.
And
Boys, I was in turn 3 for that call, and I thought when Marco ran him down in the grass, I thought it was over. I thought that was it. There's no way he was going to catch it.
Keep going, gentlemen.
And the most memorable thing about that is, and if you know me, I'm actually from the same part of Northwest Ohio that Sam Hornish is from, and to see him the first time me going to the track and then seeing him win, being a local kid and growing up in the same area that he did was just it's nothing I'll ever forget.
2 things that I specifically really remember from that race. Many things, actually, I remember. Michael Andretti leading his last Indy 500. I was there for his first 500 he led. I was there for his last 500 he led. The crowd, typically in the kart days, were not necessarily for Michael because he dominated so much. They didn't really like him. They were really pulling for him that day to win that race. Even if Marco won, they would have been definitely cheering that.
Yeah.
The other thing I remember is
his
Hornish messed up that last pit stop, and he had to really run really hard to get around that traffic on that restart because they were doing 2 wide restarts at that time to get up through the field. So how hard he raced. And the third thing I really remember from that day, how hot it was. Robert Malechka now coming up to put a lap on Craig Forsyth.
Yeah, and also the battles resuming course between our 2 essentially race leaders there, Jason and Adrian, running there in P7, P8. As you gentlemen reminiscing on the past, of course, back in the days, we have another driver going down to pit road at the moment. That's Presley, and that's the 98 machine. He'll have to drop a few places. Yep. But yes, gentlemen, well, this is good, isn't it? So we've got young guns in town. We have old guns that have been around the block a few times. I thought about the gentleman that you did let me talking about, like how long was that cable to the telephone that you had back in the day to communicate to your team crew, as they're still not giving up, these 2. I don't know. And I want somebody to tell me right there in chat right now, how many overtakes has there been between the 88 and the 56 machine? Because I've lost count.
Yeah, those 2 definitely win the race for battle of the race. Either one of them 2 just would continue to pass each other. But I can't go without saying another memorable moment. Speaking of that, just a couple years ago, and I love hearing Mark on the call when Elio scored his 4th win.
Yeah, thank you. And you know that then there were 4 didn't come to me until he came out of turn 4. That's not anything I had written down on a card. It was totally organic. And let me add to a theme that Dean has become quite comfortable with in talking about old guys. I'll take my cable communication, and I'll also take my senior discounts, Dean.
I thought you'd get the cassette tape in there and watch it back later on, my friend. Listen to it back later on.
That's right.
Nicholas
I'll
goes
take
to
my
the
cassette
pit
tape
road.
and my senior discounts. I'll take it.
You know what? I'm honored to be in the casting booth of you as a legend, my friend, because you are an absolute legend, and I appreciate that. Welcome along, of course, gentlemen, because we're still got 64 laps to go, and you've got experience. And pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. This is your classroom experience for motor racing at its finest, and, of course, broadcasting at its even best.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm honored to be with you guys. I appreciate you extending me this invitation. I love doing this. This is the 2nd year I've worked with you guys, but I look forward to doing it for a few more anyway, for sure.
Hey, could
awesome.
you give Yeoman some crap for us, though? One of my coworker over at Race First asked if Yeoman could come work with us, and he said no. So if you can give him a little bit of grief for us, we would appreciate that.
Well, not that many people like Nick, so that's... No, I'll try to sell him on it. Maybe he could be a part of this next year. That'd be cool. Have him with us for sure. I love throwing it to him in turn 1. There's no doubt about that. Talented broadcaster, no doubt.
Well, for people that don't get the opportunity to listen to everyone that is involved with the IndyCar radio network. I'm just going to throw it on a side note. What I like to do on race days is I will watch it obviously on Peacock because I cover it with the podcast that Mark's been on a couple times, but I don't listen to the TV broadcast. I turn that down and I turn on.
Whoa, you're turning down Lee Diffie? Oh, you got, and that's it.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing though.
He's turning down Lee Diffie, but he's turning up Mark Jaynes.
Thank you. I'm glad you were there to pick me up. See, I put the low hanging fruit there. But yes, I do turn on the IndyCar radio network. All of those guys, I've had the opportunity to meet. Yeah, to meet and interview and
ladies are in, gentlemen. Ladies are in. Robert and Eric. Sorry to cut you off. Continue, please.
That's okay. You want to talk about a group of individuals that know how to paint a picture. We all know that Picasso was a great painter, but the group over there at the IndyCar Radio Network, Picasso has nothing on them. Just the way they call a race, and I can't imagine the time and research it has to go into, and throwing it to one turn to another, and they are just on point time after time after time.
Thank you, guys. It's a labor of love for sure. And by the way, there's no us versus them mentality when it comes to our good friends Lee Diffie and Townsend Bell and Hinch and Kevin Lee and all of those guys. I mean, we spend a lot of time together at the racetrack, and there's a lot of mutual respect and admiration for their passion and enthusiasm. They feel the same way about us. And of course, Kevin Lee, one-time member of our radio network, and we're happy for Kevin and the success that he's had in his career. And we love our brethren at NBC. There's no doubt about it.
And we have a challenge for the leaders, but sorry to cut you off there, Mark. I was going to actually ask you a question. Are you a better golfer than Lee? Have you ever golfed with Lee back in the day there, or with any of the fantastic crew there in the NBC? But don't worry about that right now. We have a challenge for the leader of the race, and we knew this was going to be brewing up. Jason trying to lead it from the Brazilian mastermind. He's going Ayrton Senna. Remember me? Yes, remember me. He's taking the lead of this race.
Pretty impressive. It's impressive to watch what these two have done for 95 to 100 laps or more now. I mean, it's just crazy. We see that in the NTT IndyCar Series quite a bit, guys. We'll get to a racetrack on a race weekend, and it might be Colton Herta and Marcus Ericsson, or it might be Graham Rahal and another driver, or it might be Scott McLaughlin and his teammate Will Power. Guys,
thank you. Oh, damn it.
They get hooked up together, and they just seem to be together the entire race, and it's a great battle to watch it unfold.
Now, gentlemen, you've been around the block a few times, so I'm sure you have, Mark. Have you ever seen a race where you've seen drivers exchange Christmas cards about 140 laps and plus over this whole fantastic 200 laps, and they can do it again on the inside down
not like this. This is incredible. This is great racing. It really is.
Yeah, we haven't really seen exchanges for the lead like this since the pack racing days.
Yellow.
Caution, yellow, caution. Butch Davis, one of the leaders. Seb Alexander. We got another car involved. Everybody's coming to pit road. Here's your first caution.
I'll expect
lap
soon, gentlemen.
143.
Mark, that's all on you, my friend. That's all on you. That's a commentator curse right there.
I know Butch Davis was involved. Seb Alexander was involved. Trying to find out what happened. Oh.
Wow.
Well, you see the Butch Davis there, the right front, went
Davis
wrong with
and Troiano. Got side by side in the 3, and then he gets there's just no place for anybody. Oh, it's Seb.
Yeah.
I swear if Seb didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I thought Davis was the cause of this because you see him, he taps the wall, right front tire is just hanging on by a thread, and then he loses it.
Yeah.
And then he just collects other innocent bystanders.
So let's
he stayed on the inside apron. He was trying to get out of the way, but I didn't know why he went back on the racing line. That's where it all went wrong. He should have stayed in the inside apron.
So it was him. It was contact with him and Troiano. This is a battle for, at the time, I believe it was 10th. And they had another car that was behind him. I'll have to look and see who exactly that is. I think it was a car that was sideways on pit road that we saw. Kevin Hayes, he was involved in this one as well. And side by side in the 3, Troiano
You see the little wiggle there by
Oh,
Troiano that
he
sends him into
pushed
the
up.
wall.
Yeah, he gives him the old Brazilian check up in
So
the wall.
Gary and everybody else, I'd imagine right now it's going to be pit road. No, some drivers have stayed out, but there you go. Jason, Adrian, Ethan, Chad, and there's a whole bunch of people going to pit road, but we have drivers out there have elected to stay out. And because that's Roberto, he may be good and gold because he boxed, remember, only about a lap and change earlier to that incident.
Trying to find out who all the drivers were involved. Butch Davis, Kevin Hayes, Sam Alexander, Michael Hosick. Okay, Hosick was in that Ray Hall looking livery, and he was trying to avoid it, and he just came up on it too fast. I'm pretty sure he was already slowing down trying to get in that, but that's unfortunate. Two key players were hooked up in that one that had really no business in being in it. That's just awful. I feel real bad for Davis. He has longed for that sip of milk. He won it in his league that had the SRM or SRE league. I think Sim Racing Elite was the name of it. He won the 500 there, got to sip the milk. And I think he had a legit shot today. And it just unfortunately getting caught up with a bit of the Brazilian side check there in in turn 3 up into the short shoot wall.
Have you been down to Rio de Janeiro and sometime for carnivals in Brazil? Because it could get spicy and dicey at the moment. You want spicy and dicey, you got Brazilian drivers P2 and P3. So
yeah, and they went long.
Yeah, I mean, Robert, it's up to you or it's up to everybody else. Do you want the Brazilians to win the Indianapolis 500 here in your fantastic country of the United States of America, here in Indiana?
They've won it before. I'm okay with it.
Or
I think people have been fine with Brazilians winning at Indy. At least Tony Kanaan and Elio seem to be fairly popular.
There you go. Can't question if you.
Yeah. And that wasn't so bad until he refused the milk, and then after that,
yeah.
You don't have to say anything. I'll go ahead and say it. But the leader is Robert Malechka. Troiano now is second. Del Porto is third. We're gonna cycle some stuff out. We got drivers that are getting the waiver round. So unfortunately, or fortunate for them, they will be able to rejoin the field at the tail end. That is an IndyCar rule. The rule says that the leader will bring. Oh, who was that on the high side? Rebilas? I think he might have hit the wall coming around the high side there. I think Rebilas coming around under caution. He got the wave around, lucky dog possibly, and hit the wall in turn one on the exit of turn 1. But the wave around rule is an IndyCar rule which allows the leader of the race by right, because he's your leader, to bring the field back to green. And that is, of course, their right. And that takes away any cars in front of them that might be lap traffic or whatever, so they're not in the way of the direct racing for the lead. So that is a good rule. There were days in the past where they would bring IndyCar races back to green flag racing, and there would be a bunch of lap traffic in front of the leaders, and that's kind of really not too fair to the leader, and it just gives everyone a chance to kind of reset. So we are, I believe, we're going to come to green one more lap after this, I think, after they move the pace car off. The rules here, yeah. The rules here. I think the pace car leaves, and then the race is under the command of the leader for one lap, and then he will bring them up to speed in turns 3 and 4.
Which would be Robert. There's a bunch of people exiting pit road at the moment. They're back to about 24, 25, 26. I was going to say, Mark, you would know, my friend. Didn't you run moonshine runs back in the day? There wasn't it the formation of NASCAR? Mark, you know
yeah,
that
pretty much. Yeah, that's spot
go.
on for sure.
Thank you. I had to go there. Mark, please don't kill me, my friend. Leaders, gentlemen. Roberto,
yeah, let's give a rundown of the field. Malechka, your leader. Troiano, P2. Victor Del Porto, so the Brazilians in second and third. Craig Forsyth, we were just getting ready to see him go a lap down not too long ago, guys. He's in fourth. In that that is a signature livery, and that Forsyth Racing that he always runs, but it always works so well for him. And no, he's not related to the Forsyth family, but he'll take all the credit for IndyCar staying at Long Beach. Nick Sudik, my man, up to P5, great run for him. And then we're going to see how our two guys that started at the front are going to do, as they are 6th and 7th, Brophy and Panero. How are they going to get past these other cars in front of them? So this is going to be a very exciting restart as we are now in turns 3 and 4, and we will be quickly coming up the speed and green here very, very soon. Coming to 148.
Let me ask this: the pit strategy that RM3 is on, is this going to work out in his favor?
I don't put anything past Robert Malechka III. It's just simple as that. And we're back to green, and RM3, nice jump on the field. I wonder if the Brazilians are going to work together or fight each other to try to run down the leader. Good run between Forsyth and Sudi coming off at 2. They're going to be nose to tail going down the backstretch. Nick might have the run going into 3. Let's take a look. Is he going to pull out? He is thinking about it. He's halfway out. He's going to, here he goes. He's going to send the contact between the 2 and turn 3. Forsyth into the wall. We are cautioned again.
The Canadian man has said, oops, no maple syrup on that turn. And that's a big trouble.
That's awful. I feel bad for both those guys.
Cautions breed what?
Caution. I preach patience. And just
don't ask
patience
my
here.
ex-wife how many cautions breed, but it has caused a caution at the moment. 141 of 200. This is where it's going to get spicy and dicey, gentlemen, because we've had so many green flag racing. And unfortunately, we're going to go back to caution racing. You can see in those replays.
Yeah, we should be at 149.
There you go, my friend.
Yeah.
It's about as old as Mark is, right, my friend? Are you still hanging on those years? He's going to murder me, isn't he?
He's muted you already. I'm trying to get a good replay. Just a little contact there. Just sends him around. Very reminiscent of Fittipaldi Al Jr.
Good angles on that one, isn't it? That's not what you want to be seeing as a race driver. But one good thing about the simulation racing is that the only thing that could ever hurt you would be your force feedback cranking your steering bar. Look at this one, the replay bar.
Break your wrist, yeah. Trying to get a good look here on this restart and see what happened here.
There's a tag.
So the replays have been very good here, and it just kind of clearly shows. I think Nick hesitated a little bit. He wanted that position. I think he had a run, but I think he got that run a little too late and right at the corner entry, and there's a lot of net code involved there too.
Can you run on board at the moment there for cockpit view? It's going to be very tricky and risky, and we know that there is a little bit of, I don't want to say the N, that could be the N word. I'm talking about the net code.
Yeah, it was.
So tough. So tough.
You know, with the great replays that we just seen, it just shows how many, how close these cars are. When you step over that line or get too close, you just, the back end goes around. And unfortunately, that happened to Forsyth right there, as you pointed out to just a little bit ago, how great a run he had. And it's all for naught now.
Oh. I know Nick well enough that I know Nick feels absolutely awful.
You want to get a driver up to the chat at the moment there? I don't know if you want to, gentlemen, because we remember we have the photography here at Indianapolis here for the 12th running, and they've been a sponsor of this fantastic league because we're getting down to the 51 to go, which doesn't sound like a lot, gentlemen and ladies and cats and dogs and everybody else is watching. Your pets, your parrots, they're all there. It's been fun, and I hope you're all including. I want to actually get somebody out there in the chat to say, who is your pick to win this race, gentlemen? Well, relay your picks again to win.
Well, let's go. I don't think I'm going too out on a limb there too much.
All right, everybody else, come on. Let's go. Jeez,
I mean, he's hot off. He's hot off doing the IES Indy 500 on Sunday, and he won that, beating out Adam Blocker, his teammate. So
I've liked Pinero's car all night. I've liked his car and the way it's handled. Yeah, so a lot of it depends on where how the pit strategy is affected. Because I mean, what's the most anyone's done? 33 laps on a stint. We're at 151 now.
Yeah, 36 was
36,
with Malechka doing when he fell back. But Robert's 11 laps into his stint. Troiano's 11 laps. Del Porto's 13, and Sudik is 14.
So you're saying at the moment that Mark Pinero, of course, that has been running, chasing Jason Brophy, of course, they've been on 2 for now. They've been exchanging each other's Christmas cards way more than it'd be, 2027, really, in the amount of Christmas cards they've exchanged. So that's the battle for P5 and P6. I actually would probably back you on that one. I think those two would maybe at the front of the field here. We'll see, because we've got the Brazilian dominance here. We have Eric here in P2, and he's gained 24 positions. Remember, these fuel strategies, pit stop strategies are pretty much even Stevens. Victor Del Porto in the 27 machine running in P3. He's also there. I mean, what's going to happen really, and I want to ask you this question at the moment, Mark. If the Brazilians start to getting 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, and 4, are they going to work together to try to take it to, obviously, Roberto leading this race?
I think they'll work together until you get to about lap 190, and then they'll be no friends.
I think you're absolutely right, but to Mark's point, we're going to actually finally see now how good is the restart there on lap 151, how great Brophy and Pinero's cars are, because you think about it, for the majority of the race so far, they have been in clean air. Now they're going to have a little bit of dirty air, so it's going to be interesting to see how both those cars handle that.
Yeah, great point.
Let's reset the field here before we go green. Malechka will bring us down to green, coming to lap 153. Troiano second, Del Porto third, Nick Sudik now fourth. Brophy up to fifth, Pinero now sixth, Ethan Stanley seventh, Tyler Fode eighth, Caleb Bency ninth, and Chad Frankenfeld 10th. That is your 10th. Your top 10. Track temp now 120, air temp 77 degrees. We're in the last half. We're in the Rick Mears portion of the race. So that last 50 laps where he always comes to the front and seals the deal. And I always tell people there's no coincidence that Robert Malechka's initials are the same as Rick Mears, because they both race an awful lot alike.
It's exactly the kind of race that Marcus Ericsson won a couple of years ago to win the Indy 500. Every time we looked up at the scoring pylon to the first 150 laps, he was right around fourth or fifth or third, and then the last 50, he just hit the button.
He should have won it last year. Anyways, I know you can't say anything, but I'll go ahead and say that one.
you know, Gary, you want to talk about an individual, a salty individual after the race. When Marcus, when Marcus came up to the for the post race, salt was dripping from him. Let's just say.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. And Sudik's gonna have a run on Del Porto coming down the backstretch. He's got a good run. Well, he was close. He lost a little ground and turned to now. Troiano is going to take a run on the inside, going into 3. New leader. Oh, and Del Porto's coming with him.
You don't grab one Brazilian without grabbing another Brazilian, my friend. Because the Ayrton Senna right now be looking down at these drivers going, we need a Brazilian to win the Indianapolis 500 at the moment. Eric is leading here. Gentlemen, start your engines.
RM3 to the inside, getting the spot back. Troiano's going to stay up on that high line, try to get the run back in the short suit, in the turn 2, right in front of the Sweets, down the backstretch, separating 4 holes on the infield of the Brickyard Crossing golf course there. Troiano with another run down the backstretch. He's going to get him into 3. So Troiano once again thinking about it. Thinks again. We've seen a number of times in other coverage that I've covered in the IndyCar community, especially in the fixed series and the fixed oval series, that the Brazilians all of them really, extremely aggressive drivers. And I really think that if Del Porto can get right up into that hole and suck right in while Troiano staying high or Robert staying high, he'll make a run from third to the lead.
Have you been into Interlagos, my friend?
Here it is.
Because here it is. You called it. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Oh, so close. But yeah, I think he'll send it. In fact, there's a Brazilian driver in the Oval Series for Porty, a very good driver, very fast. I call him the postman because he always sends it.
Yeah, Troiano can get around RM3, but it seems like Robert's got such a great car getting across the yard of bricks and down into turn 1, and he shoots out to such a big lead, but for some reason on the last 2 turns, that's when Troiano can pass him.
Yeah, Troiano's a former winner here in the series, so this is no slouch. And now DePorto, I think, has a run, but he's not going to pull out. But here comes Troiano, very late pull out in the 3, getting the pass. And now I think Robert actually had to check up a little bit. Del Porto might have a run coming down the main straightaway. 100% Del Porto will take this. Car is getting really close to the exit of the wall. Nope, now Robert pulls out.
Roberto in the lead at the moment. He's second. The Brazilians. There's a Brazilian gaggle of cars in behind him. Nicholas is in their P4, and then Jason's in P5, and then of course Andreo has been masterminding him. You can see that Brazilian livery in the background. But at the moment, Roberto the third. He's unchallenged at the moment. Eric is going to set the inside. Here we go, gentlemen. We have 12:44 laps to go. Don't look anywhere.
I don't like Robert's car in 3 and 4. I don't. Coming down the front stretch into 1, he can pass Troiano, but he can't hold him off in 3 and 4. So that could become a problem as we get later in the race.
I think it's just the nature of being in the lead and having the pulling that draft behind you. And of course, when you 3 and 4, when you get past going into 3, you're going to have to exit on the high side. And we're going to see it again one more time. Here comes Troiano to the inside. Going to run down the backstretch. Coming to 1:59. And then we'll be down to the final 100 miles. And I guess we do have a report from the garage area on Butch Davis. He says, well, that wasn't good. I'm cleaning it up. Hate it for everyone that got caught up, but had a limited steering and the brakes were funky after I got body slammed again. So Butch Davis disappointed at the incident.
Butch, you're in the MGM Grand at the moment. They're getting what'd you say, body slammed at the moment. That sounds to me like you're in a wrestling match. Of course, you're in a wrestling match because you're in a wrestling match at the lead of this race again. Once again, welcome along, everybody. You better be hitting that bloody subscribe button. Otherwise, I'm going to send my kangaroos and my emus on an adventure. Battle for P2 is resuming. Look at this. Hector wants it. Yeah, Robert is denying it.
At Del Porto, I said would go, but we were almost going to go 3 wide, boys. Very interested party here is my radio broadcast streaming partner, Nick Sudik. They're a very interested party, and also all the while holding off pretty much the race leaders all race long right behind him. I thought DePorto was going to send it right up the side there again. He wants to.
Yeah, Mark, from your experience, my friend, the man that's leading at the moment, Eric, can he hold on? What do you think he can do to hold on? Because it's very difficult to be in the lead, especially in challenge right now. Over to you.
Well, I think there are drivers that are tucking things away in their memory banks right now in terms of where their cars are handling the best, especially as it pertains to off of 2 and off of 4. But at lap 161, I'd say maybe 9, 10, maybe 11 more laps, and the pit strategy will start to show its hand, and we'll see who's in the best position over the final 25 laps or so.
Yep, Troiano 21 laps, Robert Rulechka 21 laps, Del Porto 23, Sudik 24. These top 4 are going to have to pit here relatively soon, before everybody else, that's for sure. But it will be their final stop.
So what's interesting as well, too, gentlemen, is like if you go to pit road, who calls it? Because if you go down 1 lap earlier, do you dummy them? Would Robert have the opportunity right now to say, "Oh, would you go to pit road and then trick him into it or not?"
No, he can't. It's 162. It's about 30 or so laps for a tank, even when you go full hot. He's done a little bit more than that, but still not the number to get to. He would be having to stop again, so he really needs to go when he needs to really go when the time is right, when the tank is dry, and that will set him up for the end.
There you have it. You better hit those. I don't see 15 at the moment likes. We get some more at the moment. Robert's still battling there with the Brazilian. You've got to remember this man behind him, Eric. He's up 24 positions And last time I've seen a Brazilian drive like that was Ayrton Senna back in the day. And of course, and rest in peace, Ayrton Senna. Wow, Brazilians and blood in the vessels and blood in the machines of these cars are 2 for now. Here we go. And Victor, forget Victor in the background there, gentlemen. P3.
Yeah, pretty much single file all the way on back. Everyone's just kind of biding their time for this last stop.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, because since the restart, Brophy and Pinero have not really made any gains on the top 4. So I think you're absolutely right.
I think Mark mentioned it earlier too. They're in dirty air for the first time all race long too. And there they go side by side in the 3. Oh, boys. And they're kind of, but then again, they don't really have to race the leaders in front of them. And they're kind of losing touch with them right now, but they don't have to race those 4 in front of them. They're all going to stop. They'll pass them the easy way on pit road.
But when do you call it? Your Roberto leading this race at the moment, currently the number 1 machine with the number 1 on his line. He wants to win that Indy 500. Of course, he's been chased down currently. Eric's going to be on the inside. But when do you go on pit road? Of course, remember, you go on the pit road entrance just as you saw earlier on your screen.
Hi. Wow. That was a bit of a pucker moment for him. This top 4 starting to pull away.
Down the main stretch again, no pit stop on lap 166. Gentlemen, 35 to go. You said that can't go to the end, right? There's no way they can go to the end. Is that correct?
Yeah, they absolutely 100% have to stop. I mean, Troiano stopped at 140. Robert stopped at 140. Del Porter stopped at 138. And Sudik at 137. Let's say an average of 30 laps for a stint. Do the math. That's way less than 200. They have to stop. They have to stop very soon. 26 laps for Troiano, 26 laps for RM3, 28 for Del Porto, and 29 for Sudik. Sudik's going to probably be the first one to peel off here.
So it's a gamble as well, too. What are you thinking about, gentlemen? Because they're all bodged up at the moment. You know, cautions been cautions.
Run it out.
A late change of course for the lead of the race.
Run it out.
Yep, go run it out. Okay.
Run it out. Because if there's a caution, I have to stop anyways, right? So run it out.
If you stopped 1 lap earlier than anybody else.
Troiano down the inside. This is going to be coming to 31 laps for Sudik. He might peel off this time by. No, he's staying with him. Troiano Malechko swap the lead again. Del Porto 3rd, Sudik 4th, Pinero 5th, Brophy 6th, Stanley, Foti, Bensi, Schold, Samard is 11th, Frankenfeld 12th, Fortner 13th, Sora 14th, Simpson 15th, Nick de Groot on that slightly different strategy, although I think he's synced up with just about everybody else in 16th. Logan Spath 17th, battle for the lead once again 3.
Yeah, it's just interesting up in front. Troiano can take the lead going into 3, but it seems like he can't hold it. As soon as he gets across the yard of bricks, that's when Robert just shoots down into 1. So it's going to be interesting to see if that continues.
And that is the benefit of the draft. It giveth and it taketh away. It all on the same lap.
Yeah, and it's absolutely like clockwork. As soon as they get into 3, right here, Troiano's going to pull out. He's going to take the lead, and then they get out of 3 into 4. He's going to have the lead, but as soon as they cross that yard of bricks, that's when Robert's going to pull out, and he's going to pass him going down into 1.
But the good news for Troiano, well, if it was later in the race, Troiano's leading at the start-finish line. So he would be getting, of course, he's getting credit for leading that lap. I don't think Robert's getting credit for leading these laps. He's just getting credit for leading a little bit, but he's not getting lap led. None of that fancy lap led money that we do here.
Now the window starts to open.
Yeah, we're right there. anybody can pit and make it home to the end.
You know, and if you're a P3, if you're a Victor Del Porta, do you just sit there and wait to see if these two cars, you know, kind of, make a mistake and take each other out, or do you try to pull out with Troiano, or do you try to pull out with Robert when he goes down to take the lead into one?
Well, he's so close that if they make a mistake, he's probably getting caught up in it right now. That's how close he is. He would want to back off a little bit to give them guys a little bit room in case there is a mistake. But the way he's racing right now, if it becomes a 2-car incident right in front of him, it's going to become a 3-car incident because he'll be right there. Kind of like what we saw in that turn 4 incident a little bit earlier. Yeah, go ahead.
Could be a 4-car incident this time. That pack's starting to tighten up a little bit.
All right, there's the early takers pit right there.
Here we go. Charlie for the lead at the moment. They're 3 abreast of the turn 1, and we're seeing a bunch of drivers down the pit road at the moment there.
Yeah, DeGroot's one of them. DeGroot is one of them. Presley Sora, Ethan Burrell, I believe, are all 3 takers there.
Holy bombs in this. Look at this. We have 3 abreast of the turn 1, turn 2. Wow. Indycar, it's here right now, and it's going to be the one you want to win. This is the one you want to hold that trophy up at the moment. Who wants to hold it up at the moment? Eric, Roberto, Victor, and we have other drivers. You know they had to go to pit road, sorry. God damn it. There's so much gasoline in this pit road. I can't even speak.
All right, let's see. Cars coming off of pit road, so now we're gonna have slower traffic starting getting involved here that are trying to come up to speed. And look at Robert. He's going for that draft. You know, I don't care who that is. I'm going to use them to pull me along. Problem is, that guy on the low side, he's caught down there now, and these guys are going to run up on the high side for the first time in a while, and they might smack the wall. This is all new to them. They're taking different lines into the corners, and they're not used to. And this is the first time there's not a pass at the end of the straight, and Robert's actually going to lead this lap. 173 now, 174 of 200. More takers to pit road, including Nick Sudik.
Gentlemen, we have 94 watching, and we get hit 100. We could be doing the best day. That'll be halfway through the 200 laps of Indianapolis. Please like and subscribe. Come on, gentlemen. 94. Let's bring it to the gentleman that put so much effort and driving into this excellent elite racing league. Come on, bring it home. Get your friends, your dogs, your family. Let's go.
Right in front of Robert is we got DeGroot and Sora. So those two guys just came off of pit road. And here comes Troiano. Troiano's on the pit road, so he's throwing in the towel. Here comes Stanley and Fody and Frankenfeld and Bency. Fortner's in there, I believe, as well. So Malechka's still the leader, but we got lap traffic involved. They're going to be fast, and they're also going to be light. Not as light as Malechka, but they'll have better tires.
Notice a lot is my ex-wife spending my coin at the moment, but look at this. Brilliant. And Robertson, big trouble here. Let's get past him as quickly as possible because otherwise he's in big trouble with Victor. 14 positions game behind the Brazilian man.
Malechka to pit road. This is his final stop. So get down to, there he goes. Good job. Got down to the yellow cones, got to the speed limit. Now we turn the lead over to Del Porto, who's staying out longer. And then right behind him, well, surprise, surprise, it's Adriano Pinero. Still lap traffic involved. They're on their final stops. They're just running their strategies out. Del Porto, Pinero, Brophy, Fody, Caleb, Bency, your top 5.
Top 5 at the moment there. Mark, you've been around the block a few times. What do you think is going to happen at this one? When do you box? So the lead's going in. There it is. So I may have taken the words out of your mouth.
Well, no, I mean, the bottom line is this, and our race strategist, our driver analyst, Davey Hamilton, he as soon as that window opens up, he said there's so many variables with cautions. As soon as that window opens up, you go. He said that way you have a better control over your fate.
So this turns the lead over to Pinero, leader by 4/10, and he has a host. Gibbs, Spath, Burrell, DeGroot, Sora, all in front of him, all completed their last stops. They all pitted at 172 or 175 or 176, so they're good to go. But
Got a box. He's got
Pinero
a box.
is
'Cause,
not.
Yeah, I was going to say he's in
Here they
traffic.
come.
Exactly.
This is their final stop, and he's coming with Caleb Bency. Caleb Bency's coming with them. This is Caleb Bency and Pinero's final stop. Critical stop. You got to hit your marks. No mistakes. No speeding. No nothing. This is critical. This is the money stop. Remember, this is where Dixon gave it up a couple of years ago for his second Indy 500 win. You can't mess it up here.
Do you know how it brings into play? Jason in this race at the moment there. The 88 machine. Now, he's got he boxed back at lap 144. He can go to the end. He can go to the end. He's got clean air.
He cannot.
No?
He's 33 laps on his stint, so he's pitting now.
Oh, he's going in. Okay, there you go. I was just exciting. I knew that. Oh, I was just testing.
Cody's coming with him, so this might turn it over to Samard, as Samard will stay out on the racetrack. Yes, Samard will.
Let's go, everybody, for the sponsors and fantastic Elite Racing League at the moment. We have 90 of you watching. We need to get to 100. We need to get to this. This is Indianapolis. It's 200 laps of the greatest spectacular of motor racing you're ever going to see. Come on, let's do it for the fantastic league organizers, the drivers. Bring it home. Gentlemen, start your engines. Don't worry about it. 22 to go. Let's go. Who wants it? Get everybody out
Samard
there. I don't care if you get your cat in there.
Road.
Bring it home.
Simpson now over to Simpson with that strong satellite racing team. They're one of the super teams in all of the service right here. Only entry that they put into the field. And he is now your leader in the late stages. 35 laps under this stint. Mikado now is P2. He's a ways back, about 5 seconds. He's getting the draft off at a Stouffer.
So Mikado, Thomas, Hearn all need to pit?
Yes. Simpson coming to pit road. Mikado is 30 laps into his stint now. Samard just stopped, but he is on still pit road. Thomas is 30 laps in. Hearn is 30 laps. So this is going to turn it over to Adriano Pinero, Robert Malechka.
And Malechka and Pinero, how about that?
But look where Roberto is. He's in a ton of traffic.
And Ethan
It's
Stanley
like
is
the
involved.
traffic
This
you get to go in
is the battle for
Indianapolis.
what's going to be second. Stanley to the inside, and he's going to go to the outside now as they're all doing the bit of the dragon down the front stretch. No place to go. Del Porto, he's there. He's going to send it. We're going 3 wide, 4 wide in the one. This is not good, boys. Do not do that. But they're going to make it out on the other side. Side by side, Stanley, side and Pinero into turn 2, right in front of the Swedes. We're 2 wide behind him, and 2 cars tucked behind him for 3rd and 4th. This is, I have not seen him ever go through four wide into turn 1. Oh, Robert to the inside of the grass in the 3.
If I remember correctly, I believe Mark made the statement that with about 20 laps to go, things are really going to heat up, and he's spot on.
That's why they pay him the big bucks.
And yes, P2 and P3 going to pit road at the moment. The gentleman said Johnny leads this race, and look at this battle you're seeing. This is more importantly.
Stanley,
this
look at
is
this
the battle.
trophy.
The lead of the race.
Like that, boys. Here we go. Pucker up. Here we go into turn 1. And an exit out of the wall. A little bit for Stanley. This is all a battle for position. Now, Thomas is your leader. Johnny Thomas is your leader, but he is 32 laps into his stint, so he's still going to have to stop. And he's all alone at the start-finish line. Meanwhile, Ethan Stanley, Brophy,
Look at this
Malechka.
5 abreast. Oh, my God.
Oh, yellow flag. We're caution. Caution. Pinero into the wall.
No, I don't believe it's Pinero into the wall. I believe he put somebody into the wall. Yes.
Pinero was involved in the contact, but he was able to gather it back in.
Stanley into the wall. Pinero. Does he get in there? I think there's another car that got. Well, no, that was Stanley. Pinero might have got some damage.
That's what happens when you put your straight tables upright and your seat in the upright position when you're going down to the final here of Indianapolis. Because, gentlemen, you can just look at that back at the replay. Look at that. Oof.
Oh, Johnny Thomas. He's got to stop still, but he's got quite a bit of room behind him as the leaders try to catch up. But he's going to stop here on pit road and get his service done. So almost catching the yellow at the right time. This is going to turn the lead over to Brophy.
Yeah, Mark, this is going to scare you watching this right now, seeing 4 cars abreast. This feels like you're playing an arcade game in the 80s. Look at this. Turns in Bingo. Job done.
Yeah,
Damage.
turn 3 at Indianapolis. I can't think of really any turns on the IndyCar circuit that you can get on an oval that you could put 4 wide and they'll safely come out on the other side. And they ran out of room, just ran out of real estate there. Now, anybody want to pit? Anybody want those new tires?
Well, the pits are open. Welcome along to the pit stops of the Indianapolis course 500 here at the IndyCar Series
So
and the best elite racing networks. You're welcome. Come on down. We have the best tires in town. You can get some gasoline, you can get some tires, and you can get some fantastic commentators and the best broadcasting network.
Let's take a look at this. With 17 to go, you have Jason Brophy, a rookie in the series.
Not a rookie in the series, but anything in a rookie. It's like Juan Montoya in 2000. He's that much of a rookie.
Okay.
Hey, como stars,
again, you're Jason Brophy. You're leading with 17 to go, but the problem is, you look in your rearview mirror, and the 3-time champion's just sitting there, waiting to pounce.
Here's the thing with the iRacing IndyCar community. Brophy and Malechka have probably raced each other hundreds of times. If either one of these drivers is used to seeing either one in the rearview mirror, that they're completely comfortable with one another out there racing right now. The wild card is the Porto. They don't race the Porto as much, probably outside of the ERL. So that's probably the wild card that they're most concerned about, because they've raced each other enough in other leagues and official races here on the service that they might know what each one's going to do. At least they have a level of trust. They might not trust Del Porto as much as maybe they would Pinheiro if he were to get up there.
I'll tell you what, gentlemen, I would give Pinheiro running in P5. If I was the other Brazilian drivers, if they are speaking Portuguese together, I would let him to take a shot immediately at Jason, because they were too for now on this one. I would just let him through there and go for it.
Let me ask this then. With what you just said, who's in a better spot? Jason Brophy or Victor Del Porto?
Brophy.
Well, I mean,
but if you're speaking Portuguese, gentlemen, you would say Victor. I would love to get into their chat at the moment there and put a microphone in there, but
yeah,
I'm sure they're probably chatting about it.
I take the lead over anything.
You got to remember, those two drivers were battling out tooth and nail the whole bloody race. Why wouldn't you let them go for it tooth and nail at the end?
Well, you know what you're getting. Again, if you're Jason Brophy, like you said, you know what you're getting with the car behind you in Malechka. You know what you're getting, but you don't know what you're getting. But you don't know what you're getting with Del Porto.
I still think second place in turn 3 is the place to be on the last lap. Second place into turn 3, I think, is the place to be on the last lap.
And I would pay attention to this man, because he's been around this racetrack a few times.
Just once or twice.
50 plus lap. Well, hopefully you haven't done 200 laps around this track, have you, my friend? God, you're looking good at that age.
I have done the 2-seater here with Davey Hamilton, which is pretty cool.
I would love to do that.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
No,
I would love to do that. I've taken my Camaro out on the oval during the Camaro and Corvette customer appreciation by Chevrolet, and they were the yellow shirts in the trucks were kind of liberal out there, allowing us to tear it up a little bit, and I mean a little bit. But I got to go down the main straight, and my Camaro just floored to the floor, and I have it on my dash cam. It is one of the most exciting things that I have ever done in my car ever.
Tune into that right now. We're going to get your dash cam, because we're going to be dashing our way to the finale at the moment. I don't know if the pace car lights are still on at the moment there.
Yeah, they're coming off.
He's going to be riding shotgun with Mick, and shotgun with the best fantastic racing elite team. Elite means the best of the best. Gentlemen, start your engines. Forget it. They're already firing. We have a 15 to go.
Oh, Pinheiro, pit road.
Probably had damage.
I think that's throwing in the towel. I do not see him recovering from that far back.
That's got to be disappointing.
That might be, he's going to come out, he's going to race, but that might be day done for your front row starter. So that's one less combatant at the front. Brophy's going to bring us the green. Chief rival in teams, chief rival driver, chief rival in leagues. Robert Molechka with Power Slide right behind him. Del Porto third, Troiano fourth. Caleb Binsey, my man, I'm so happy to see this guy in fifth. He is right there. Tyler Fody, sixth. Nick Sudik, another one of my favorites. He's in seventh. The host with the most, Frankenfeld, eighth. Schuld in ninth. Schuld actually has the purple lap, so we know he has lots of pace in him. And Samard, the guy who took all the pictures for the program, if you haven't got a chance to check that out, he is P10. Chad Simpson with Satellite Racing up to 11th. Sword, DeGroot, Burrell, and Logan Spath, one of the other Stowe cars. He is up 14 spots and inside the top 15. Coming to green to lap 188. Money's on the table, boys.
Bonnie's
Let's
hungry.
go win a race.
Yeah, Bonnie's hungry to wave that flag, my friend. And we need to be hungry to wave 100 of you to watch at the moment. 91. Jason did this one. Let's go racing here at the Indianapolis 500.
Great jump by the front, too.
And I will say that the Power Slide team, Binsey already round Troiano, but the Power Slide team and the private label team hype teams have been known to work together in voice channels. Keep that in mind. Caleb now up to fourth as he's looking on the backside of Del Porto. Del Porto will not hesitate to take this thing 3 wide going into 1. He might even do it. Here we go, boys. What did I just say? 3 wide into 1. Brazilians up high, Americans down low. Does he keep it off the wall? Oh, Molechka and Brophy almost make a little bit of contact there, trying to give each other a little bit of room. Caleb with a run to the inside. He's going to use the draft of Robert Molechka and move the Stowe Motorsports team up to third using the draft of the leaders, and he's going to send it to the 3. Oh, Nick Sudik almost to the wall.
Oh, he sent it in the wall? Exactly, my friend. Wow. Somehow Robert still survived this one. He's under big pressure right now. Down the straightaway. Barney the flagman was saying 11 to go, gentlemen. 11 to go here at the Indy 500.
Binsey trying to follow through the leaders to work his way up to third. Troiano, Del Porto, up high with the momentum down the back straight. Meanwhile, the leaders, Molechka and Brophy, going to swap it back and forth down the back straight. Halfway through, 190 to go, halfway through this lap. 190 complete, 10 to go, coming this time by.
Which car just went in the inside barrier?
Del Porto. I was watching the leaders, and Del Porto went to the inside barrier. Are we going to be cautioned? No, he's going to come out, but his day is now done. Another one of the Brazilians have been eliminated.
I mean, if you want 3, guess what? Multiply
3
it by
wide. Caleb Binsey to the outside. Into 1. Come on, Caleb. Let's see what we got, buddy. 3 wide, 2 by 2. Each one of these guys, hundreds of starts in these cars. Hundreds of starts. Each one probably have dozens of wins in these cars. These 3 are among the best in these cars on the service. They know what they're doing. Caleb Binsey to the outside, going into 3. 3 wide one more time. 10 to go. Binsey getting a run on the outside. They're so close to the middle car. Oh, my gosh. Still 3 wide. Going through turn 4, north side of the racetrack. Coming down the main straightaway. Coming to 9 to go.
You couldn't script this any better at the moment. Hollywood, pay attention. This is Oscar material. We can even have 4
here comes
press gentlemen
Cody.
to be one.
Oh, they're going to run out of room so much on the high side. Careful, boys. Molechka threading the needle. He was in the middle for a while. Then he's down low. And he's down low. Look at him down on a white line. 3 wide. Molechka, Brophy, Binsey. All 3 of these guys fought with each other in Lionheart. Seasoned Lionheart drivers.
Oh, 9 to go.
They've raced with each other before. Down the main straight. Binsey's just going to lose momentum on the high side. Maybe he can get a run. He's going to go to the low side. Going to get a run. Going to pop out high again. Going to be 3 by 3. 3 by 2 at the start-finish line. Chad Simpson all of a sudden in this battle in that Satellite Racing entry.
All right, what's your thoughts at the minute there, Mark? You've been around this block a few 1,000 times. Who can get it done, Robert or Jason?
Yeah.
Of course, Caleb. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, again, I still feel like that if you're in second place in turn 3 and carry the momentum through the north end, I really think if you get a high exit off of turn number 4, that's usually the momentum you need to get you to the start-finish line first.
Vance trying to get a run one more time on Brophy in the middle, who leads at the line this time by Malechka. 3 wide. It's like a parade lap at full speed going into 1.
To me, there's nowhere to go, gentlemen, because they're blocking at the top 3. If you're back in the shoes there of Eric, he's at 22 positions gained at the moment. He's got nowhere to go. But then again, he's going to be like, wreck, please, and I'll take that P1. Here we go. Down the back stretch into turn 3.
7 laps to go, and the top 9 are separated by 0.7 of a second.
IndyCar racing, on rye racing. Gotta love it.
It's crazy.
Man, if Troiano could slide it between Brophy and Malechka, he absolutely 100% would. Man, Malechka, it's just...
We're 6 to go, but we're 5 away from reaching 100. Grab your pets, grab your family, get into it.
We're going to the caution. This might be the race. This might be the race. Huge wreck. We saw, oh God, Sudik was in that as well. Simpson is in that as well.
All I seen
Jim
was a
Herrick
car
going
go
through the
20
grass.
feet in the air. Which car went 20 feet in the air? This is going to be interesting to see on replay how
Mark,
all
when's
this
the last
shakes
time
out.
we went 20 feet in the air. Wow. Yeah, Gary, when's the last time you've seen a car go 23 feet in the air? But we're going to find out right now in the instant replay. Let's look at this.
So what happens is the satellite racing entry gets up in the wall, bounces off, hits, I think, Fody, and then Fody hits Sudik, and that is Presley Sora going into a low orbit. Speaking of
That's
astronauts
not
at
the
the
way you
brickyard.
take your date to a first party to the grass.
Oof. And
That's going to hurt your back.
yeah. Looks like Jim Herrick snuck through there at the end too, but I think this is going to set up probably a 1 or 2 lap dash. So we're going to get a. I don't like gimmick racing, so I hate green-white checkers. But we might get ourselves We might get ourselves a natural green-white checker.
I didn't realize this was the roller coaster racing network of the Elite Racing Network. Damn, man, I was riding on board with that. That was amazing. Gary, you put on a fantastic racing league at the moment. Everybody's in pit road too.
The car that was used as a projectile, that could have ended way worse than what it did.
It looked bad, and this is the grand thing about a virtual racing course is that the only thing that can hurt you, of course, would be the steering wheel. Look at this. God, if I get slammed
Yeah,
like
someone
that.
said in chat, it says, looked like Scott Dixon's crash.
Oh,
Kinda. That was over in turns 1 and 2, and he sawed his car in half.
Calm down on the
Jay
Kiwi.
Howard.
Calm down.
Yeah,
the
Jay
Kiwi.
Howard, yeah. And then he gets up and walks away to the applause of everybody in turn 2.
Well, that's what we love. That's what we guarantee you right now, right? You can guarantee that too, Gary, that every driver should be able to walk away
Oh, yeah.
safely from the virtual sports of the Elite Network, Racing Network.
Ooh, boys, we're going to have ourselves a sprint to the end. Not like last year. Not like
Who won
97.
it last year, my friend? Just to elaborate to everybody.
We did do a sprint to the end of last year. We went green
But
and
who
white
won it?
on 199.
Don't no spoiler surprises. Haven't seen it yet.
And then we went green and white on 199 and 97. So we've had a while since we've had a 3-lap. I can't think of one off.
It wasn't Max Verstappen.
I think
right?
that
Please
the
don't tell
last
me it was
one,
Max
the
Verstappen.
last one I could think of maybe was the Hornish one where we had a late restart and everyone was running for it. Although, you know what? Kanan's race where Kanan won. That was a late restart.
Oh,
and a caution
spoiler
into
alert.
that.
God, I haven't watched it. Oh, damn it. All right.
So lights are still on the pace car. So at least 2 more laps.
So, Mark, how many laps of Indianapolis have you done in a real race car? By the way, Mark, you've done real racing driving before, right? my friend?
Oh Lord, no! I'm not that crazy.
Oh no, you never done. I thought you did, my friend.
No.
I thought I rode shotgun with you to the airport, and I was scared the hell out of my experience.
I'll tell you, the one time we flew to Edmonton, and we get off the airplane, and Ari Lyondike's in the lobby, and he said, "Hey, you guys, you go what hotel you staying at?" We were staying at the one by the racetrack, and he said, well, why don't I just cancel my rental car and I'll jump in with you guys because I can get a ride back to the airport after the race weekend. And I'll admit it was a bit intimidating being the chauffeur for a 2-time 500 champion.
Wow, really? Are you kidding me? You were a 2-time chauffeur for what? Why didn't you just
500
go,
champion.
Right, yeah, let's go on the outside line. Let's see if we can slide on by it, and then we'll ride the wall
green.
all the way to
We're
the
going
end.
green this time by.
All right, gentlemen.
Okay, green this time by. Green this time by. Yeah, 2-time Indy 500 champion and survived the fight with AJ Foyt.
Yeah. It didn't last very long.
No. He went down.
Gentlemen, we've cracked the
Down
103
goes
races.
Lyondike.
We've cracked the 100 mark, considering the Mark was going to be chauffeuring 100 people around here in your there you go. So Mark
Here we go, guys. We're going to green. Let me briefly. We got to reset the field here. I know you're excited. Everybody's excited. Robert Malechki the third, Brophy second, Bincy third, Troiano fourth, Frankenfeld has worked his way back up the fifth, Samard sixth. Now Samard bounced off the wall. He might be injured. We do not know. Burrell seventh. Pinero back to eighth, so he's recovered. Spath in ninth, DeGroot in 10th. Here we come to green for hopefully the final time here in this 500-mile race. I think it's going to come down to these top three of Malechki, Brophy, and Bincy coming up to speed very slowly, keeping the field close together so no one's getting the run. Green flag, 2 to go here at Indianapolis.
Great job by Malechki.
And no one in IndyCar history has ever won, in Indy 500 history, has ever won 2 consecutive. This man in the virtual world has won 3 consecutive. He is staring at 4 consecutive, but here comes Brophy on the high side, coming to turn 3, and Bincy's right there with him. Move Bincy up to second. Malechki's back in third. Coming to the white flag. Crazy behind. Who's going to lead the line? Going to be a caution. Going to be a caution. Bincy's on the line. That's it. No, we're still going. They're going to race back to the line.
Malechki in the lead.
Okay, we're going to race back to the line, folks. I thought that would be the race. We're going to do the dragging down the backstretch. Bincy to the outside. Here comes everyone else to the outside. In the 3 for the final time.
Yeah,
Bincy edges out to the short shoot. Side by side down the front stretch. Last time out of turn 4. Who's going to win this thing, boys? See.
Oh, that's a bonus.
Yes,
finish
you're right.
there. Who got it? Wow.
Oh, right. Still on your feet, people. Bincy's your winner. Biggest win of his career.
To look that way, my friend, because I think I blinked to miss that action at the end of that race. That was 3 cars abreast of the Indy 500. Wow. Let's have a look at that one if you can go back. That was absolutely outstanding. Thank you, everybody. We reached the 111 people watching. And why not? It's the Indy 500. Look at this. The best network on the planet and look at the best drivers on the IndyCar.
Come on, Caleb. Burn it down. Here comes his teammate. A picture moment here. Burn it down, buddy. Burn it down. You deserve this win.
Don't blink. Like, oh, wow. I mean, you have to rewind that one. Wow. Mark, you may be able to catch that one, my friend. You've seen many drivers win this one in the past, but
That was
what do you think
just
about that,
a
my
whale of a
friend?
finish. Well, I think he made the high side work on the last lap, and that's where the momentum was, and that's where it's been all night long. I mean, you come off of 4, and you set it up in 3, and you get a really good run off of 4, and yeah, I mean, what a great finish! Look at that! Look at that, 3 wide at the start finish line. That's amazing. Awesome stuff.
I wish my girlfriend would tell me I have a good finish like that. But these finishes, of course, this IndyCar series is brilliant. Look at that! Wow, he got the nose in there on the outside line. You called it, my friend.
And not to take away from Caleb's win, Adriano Pinero, who had damage late, pitted and still found his way to 4th.
Look at that! But that's what, yeah.
So I think we had 4 cautions for 12 laps. My stats are saying the average lap time was right at 42 seconds a lap.
And all 4 of those pretty deep into the race too.
Yeah. That is a pretty good average, but 4 cautions for 12 laps.
My ex-wife would say that's a pretty good average as well,
boys.
too. You called that one. Yes. I had to go there. I'm sorry.
Guys, I got a full day tomorrow. I'm going to let you handle the post race. I'm going to thank each and every one of you for the honor and privilege to be with you tonight. And hopefully we can do it again real soon. Okay?
Honor is all mine. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real quick there, Mark, just to elaborate real quickly here, people are tuning in late there, all of your experience that you've had in racing.
What's that now?
Your experience of Indianapolis and stuff like that in the past. I mean, you've been around a lot, my friend. Could you elaborate?
Yeah, I mean, I did 29 years with the radio network, and 29 years covered the NTT IndyCar series, and had the privilege to cover a lot of forms of motor racing, a lot of USAC stuff and short track stuff, mainly in the state of Indiana at the famed Terre Haute Action Track, and it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of it. And I will say that just like this, I mean, all of us are fans, and I think I'll echo the sentiments of Doug Bowles, who's the president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's the fans that make it the greatest spectacle in racing, and all of us are part of that community. And it's this is a really cool event for me to be a part of, and it just adds to the enjoyment I feel each and every month for sure.
Well, Mark, I think we're absolutely honored to have you here, my friend, because you have been around the Indianapolis Speedway and about motor racing, and we are honored, my friend. Good luck, and good. Thank you,
Mark. I'll see you tomorrow, buddy.
All right, guys, take care. Thank you.
Do we want to read the standings before bringing up people for interviews, and then we can get the interviews in?
I think we're all still trying to catch our breath, but Gary, go right ahead.
Yeah, we got Bency with the win, Malechka second, Brophy third. Pinero, you're right, fought back to 4th. Great run for him. Troiano 5th. Burrell 6th. Didn't mention him very much. Great run by Ethan. Nick DeGroot, remember, he was kind of on that different strategy, finished 7th. Spath, that's Bency's teammate. He finished in the top 10 too, so great day for Stowe Motorsports. 1st and 8th. Porto back to 9th. Hibbs 10th, Schuld 11th, Mikado 12th. Mikado was on the last row, so Mikado, a great run for him. Stouffer 13th, Hearn 14th, Frankenfeld 15th, Samard in 16th, Fortner 17th, Johnny Thomas 18th. You go to the next page if you want. And we got Fody in 19th. A lot of these guys were involved in that last caution there. Rebilas and 20th, Hayes 21st, Simpson 22nd, Sudik 23rd. Simpson and Hayes finish is not really indicative of where they were pretty much all day long at the top of the standing. Sora 24th, Herrick 25th, Stanley 26th, Craig Forsyth 27, Butch Davis, again another rough day for him. He's was a little upset, but he was up with the leaders much of the day. 28th, Seb Alexander same way. 29th, Michael Hossack 30th, Rexing in 31st, Hunter Smith in 32nd, and Drake Berry in 33rd, and then the pace car, of course, comes in 34th. But we can go to the interview room. Great race. Everybody that was involved in this race should be very, very proud of how this thing turned out. Purple lap, by the way, went to Ryan Schuld.
Yeah, I'm interested, Gary, as we see Jason Brophy in the interview room. But I'm curious, is this the closest finish that Elite Racing Network has seen here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the 500?
We might need the host with the most to tell us that, but it was 0.004 was the margin of victory there. 0.004. And Mr. Brophy, who is in the interview room, is going to have himself a good point day. Didn't get the win that he wanted, but finished 0.028 from the lead. Man, you were up there all day long. You were working with Panero, it looked like at one point, to kind of really pull away. You guys, as we went through 3 stints of green flag pit stops, really just pulled away. And if this thing stayed green, which it had a possibility of doing so, you guys, it would have been a battle between you two fighting it out, probably about a half lap lead on everybody.
Actually, I think we'd have finished third because Rob was good on fuel basically from the time.
There is the hidden strategy of Robert Molotchka the third. Yeah,
it was a question of whether I could tack on to the group that he was in after the stop and pull up to him with fresher tires at the end. And with the way the weather was at the end, it'd have been interesting. Instead we got a caution right at kind of the window. It benefited me, helped me jump through and have better tires. Track cooled down at the end and made the racing kind of crazy. I'll be honest. I was white knuckling there for a long time. I struggled that second to last run in traffic. I really hadn't been in traffic all day, and so just struggled to hold on. But I also knew I had a fuel advantage at the stop, and so used that. Got a little further forward. Raced really well with Rob there. I actually liked where I was in before that caution with 5 to go, because I think I'd have beat him to the line. And then I definitely threw a bit in that last restart. I thought I wanted to be middle on the last lap, and so I left the inside open so that so that I could hold the second lane, and then Rob got clear, and I had to pinch to the bottom, and that was it. I did not expect Rob's overspeed to pull clear. And once he got clear, then Bensy did a good job to hold me down in 2, so I couldn't carry any momentum, and then I couldn't really build it off. Even off 4, I had to hold up just a little because Troiano was all the way at the wall. He tried, and so I had to check up off the corner. It was kind of crazy racing. I'm glad I finished. Panero did a heck of a drive to come back from. He was 21st after the wing damage with 15 to go or something, and he finished looks 4th. So I didn't really gain that many points, but did what I needed here. We'll go to Texas and try and continue. Just
guys, got any questions for our third place finisher?
Yeah, why didn't you finish first?
What was that?
Oh, sorry.
What'd you say, Dean?
I said, why didn't you finish first? Because first to finish, you have to finish first.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Derik.
It's fine. Go ahead,
Go ahead, Derik.
Trust me, you did a good job.
Jason, through the majority of the race, and I think it's safe to say that you and Adriano were battling back and forth. Could you tell a difference between your car out in front, obviously, and then when you had to drive your way from the back in that dirty air that you didn't have for the majority of the race?
I mean, it's just generally less grip, especially when it got up to 125, whatever like that. The track temp swung quite a bit, and it was tight. I struggled a bit there, knowing that I had the fuel advantage helped a little. They also had a little less fuel than me, so that also helps them. But basically, it came down to, at that point, if you made a mistake, the person behind could pounce, and I made a couple of mistakes in a row and turned too well. Got a little extra air than I expected and cut down too early and hit the curb and had to check up so that I didn't wreck. And that finally he got enough of a run that he could pull by me. The track cooling, it goes through big swings. I think the wind actually picked up, so makes huge differences in the amount of grip you have in dirty air and just in general. You could, like at the end there, the 4 wide stuff going inside, you could just hold the white line. I would have never imagined that in the 125 that Rob holding the white line like that. I don't know that it would have won out in the end. It was just a matter of us giving enough space to each other, not wrecking. Raced really well with Rob forever. So, but yeah, I mean, it's really changed the racing there at the end. So,
as your sponsor, I mean, the curb hit you, right? I mean, if I'm investing millions of dollars into your fantastic livery in your car, and come on, remember I told you this, right? We rehearsed this. The curb hit you, but on top of that, my friend, what are the fantastic sponsors and everything that's driven you to your fantastic results here this evening?
I want to thank Private Label. They sponsor our team, Team Hype. Ty Stover, Tommy Milner, who helped us. The Indy community. We're getting our big event, the Indy Open one, and fixed here in a month. So this is a great tune-up for that too. But it's also, I want to do well here because I got points on the line, and so real useful. Glad I could make it home through the second in 5 days that I finished all the laps. So hey, good at that. Slowly improving the finishes. So hopefully the next one I run, which should be the open one, will be a first.
The timing's getting right.
Yeah.
Peaking at the right time. Well, congratulations, my man. I know I will see more of you in other action on the official side of things, but a great finish for you today, keeping that points lead in the points here in the ERL. Congratulations, and I know you're probably pretty exhausted right now, so go get yourself a rest and a drink and call it a night.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And thank you guys in chat for the lead.
No problem. Let's bring up Robert Malechka. I'll bring him. There he is. Hey, Robert.
Howdy.
How are you?
Fine. Yeah, just
Well,
how these things go, right?
Once again, thank you for making me look smart, because I said never count out Robert Malechka III, and you once again proved that right. We saw you falling through the field, and I was like, is there a problem? And I'm like, well, I wouldn't put too far that Robert's actually trying to hit a number. And you were trying to hit a number, and you hit a big number on that first stint, 36 laps. You don't see that very often, my man. But talk about your race and fighting it out really in the mid-pack for just really a good chunk of it, and then fighting yourself up to the front here, and then putting yourself in a spot to win here in the closing stages.
Yeah, I guess we'll go to the start, right? I saw Adriano and Jason kind of just saving in the lead, right? So I already know that I'm going to be able to hit a pretty good number there, at least 33, 34 laps. And let everyone kind of full push past me. Fell back to, I think, like 16th to 18th. Just saving. Knew I was in a really good spot after that first stint. And just kind of kept extending my lead on everyone on my fuel number. And those first 100 laps were pretty boring, just kind of hitting a number. Putting myself in a really good spot strategy-wise, because I know I could go up there and easily pass cars, but rather just kind of hang out, save the fuel, and I guess win the easier way, kind of. And I was hitting a great number. I think I was gonna kind of walk away with that. Myself and Troiano were gonna be 1-2, and no one else was gonna be near us. Until that first yellow came out, and it was just kind of giant RNG fest after that, where guys were able to save more fuel behind us, leading, and it's like I don't want to slow the pack down to cause even more crashes, so just committed to leading there. And then we all had our final pit stops. Everyone came up together, and that's where the show kind of started, right? Then at the end there, just had a few yellows. It was kind of just in a box there, right? Like, you don't want to be leading ever coming to the line when it's this packy of a race. And in hindsight, I probably should have taken the inside pass on Jason there on the front straight. Probably should have just waited, but I just decided to go for it, thinking that maybe I could hold Caleb and Jason side by side through 1 and 2, and then just kind of work the draft and to benefit in my favor. But didn't really work. I just messed up on that part. Gave Jason too much dirty air, I believe, to keep them side by side. And once Caleb had draft turn 2, I think I said right away that, okay, this is just over. Like, it's an easy win for him. And somehow almost still got the win. Don't know really how, but I think even on stream, like right off turn 4, in voice chat, I said good win to Caleb because I knew he would get there. And that's about it.
Any other questions for Robert?
Robert, when you got out in front there, your car was so strong coming down to the yard of bricks and going into turn 1, but it seemed like it fell off going into 3, coming out of 4. Anything that you thought you could have adjusted in car with that to make your car better, make your car stronger? Because that's where it seemed like
Troiano.
Troiano behind you. That's where he would get you, is in 2 and 3.
Yeah, that's really just down to the new Tempest, right? With the wind, it's giving us a tailwind down the front straight, I believe. or whatever end is what I was showing, or like they were getting massive runs on, is where we had the headwind. And yeah, it was just making it really easy to pass. But yeah, I had great speed. Every time I kept extending those stints in the middle part of the race, I was easily the fastest car on track. Yeah, it just comes down to the Tempest. It seems like the drafts are massive right now, and there's really nothing you can do about that, which you kind of saw at the end there.
I'm sorry about Roberto. It's Dean up here in the booth. I'm looking at the replay at the moment there, and I saw you go the inside apron. So your defensive block wasn't the middle. And if you could look back at the situation, of course, and you can't think about that at 200 miles an hour, do you think that maybe blocking the middle, because that would challenge you on the outside lane, and maybe it could sneak on the inside apron? You went the inside apron, my friend. That was your defensive.
Into 3. Yeah. Yes. So my thinking behind that is, if I give him the inside right, he's going to be more ahead than taking a longer way around. Sure, he might scrub just a tiny bit more, but when it's this packing this much downforce on the car, it's not really going to matter, right? So I thought if I can kind of open up the entry for myself as much as possible, I could have a shot with him having to at least take the longer way around. But yeah, he just had the run off. Really nothing you can do there. It just kind of comes down to lane preference, because if he goes inside there, right, he is probably almost fully clearing me. Maybe I'm on his right rear, but when it's that big of a gap, I'm not going to get there in time.
And you cross the line in the middle of both those drivers on the inside and the outside as well, too. So nose Kellum got you by nose. And of course, that Jason was in P3. Good job, my friend. You got to be pretty proud of that one. 2 positions gained there for the lovely,
not bad.
Amazing number 1 machine.
Yeah, obviously came here to win, just my one-off. I think I've won the last 3 in a row. And I'm going to be a smart butt about it. It took them to have a really packy race to beat me, so we'll take it.
Your finishing average is the only thing that
I know. It's like 1.25 now. It's like, come on, I'm washed.
Shout outs, friends, families, anybody want to say hi to? We know you got people watching. So go right ahead.
Firstly, it's always thank you to Chad. Chad takes so much time out of his days and weeks to not only put on his league, but put on this 500 for us, because they're putting in so many hours behind the scenes I can't even imagine. So yeah, thank you to Chad, thank you to you guys for broadcasting it on ERL. Hopefully we put on a show there. If it was quite boring those first 140 laps.
Oh, that stuff was good.
That 4 wide was interesting. We were all kind of scared.
Yeah, you have to watch it back, my friend. Gary's
I will,
about what he does in his spare time. But yes.
Yeah. And lastly, thank you to Jason and Sudik for working together on track, and then Jacob Oster and Connor Harrington for being crew chiefs for us that whole race, and kind of working the fuel mileage for us to make it easier on us. So, yeah, thank you.
Congrats, man. We'll catch you at probably Indy Open here next, but go get some rest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to kick butt for that.
All right, let's bring up Caleb Vincey. I want to bring him up here. I want to do the honors here.
No, he smells some champagne. No.
Dino, my man. I cannot tell you how happy I am for you, and how thrilled I am to see you win this race, coming so far deep in the field, getting yourself in a position to win. I said it, that this is probably your biggest career win out of all the other wins you've had. And I know your record, so I imagine that you are pretty happy. And I want you to talk about this race and how you got yourself in a position to be a part of this finish and that final stint.
Well, Gary, first of all, I am very ecstatic too, by the way. So good to see you here.
Did you get your milk?
Not yet. No, not yet.
Okay. You know what you have to do. You got to record yourself drinking it and put it on the Discord server.
Yep. I shouldn't say, I don't know if I'm looking forward to it, but yes, I am looking forward to it. But yeah, man, what a race. That was obviously starting 22nd, 23rd is never ideal, but setup, I think some of those downforce components and stuff, just setup in general, made it somewhat easier to pick your way through traffic. So at that start, it was just a matter of just trying to weigh the risks and everything and make passes when you thought it was relatively safe. And thankfully, I was able to pick through. I'm guessing probably around 8, 9, 10-ish in that first stint. And then through there, it was kind of a weird mix between whether you're fuel saving or not. And I kind of got caught too late in trying that. So just kind of decided to go for it and kind of got caught in some no man's land situations there for a little bit, but just kept slowly grinding, picking away at it through pit stops, picking away, just trying to use lap cars to kind of springboard your way in the draft and everything, catch up to that lead pack. And then after that, it looked like Muchka and all those guys were probably going to win if it went green, but just with how the race was going and how it was getting kind of tricky, some tire wear was coming into play, you kind of expected hopefully the pit caution at some point, and thankfully it did. But man, with those cooler temps and I don't know, lighter fuel all above there at the end, that was some of the most wild Indy racing I've ever experienced.
Caleb, it's Adrian Newey here at the moment. I'm a free agent at the moment. I've built Formula One racing teams for a very long time. And I bought you a car that got you 22 positions gained on the 21 machine there.
There you go.
Yeah, you owe me a beer, my friend. I think you've done a solid job.
Questions
you won
for
the Indy
not
500. Are you kidding me? You've won the Indy 500.
Oh man, that's incredible. I mean, in real life and on this, I love this track. I love this event so much. So to be able to win it on this stage and in this type of field of incredible drivers, that's just it's incredible.
Caleb, if I would have told you at the beginning of the race, knowing where you were starting at, that you were going to win the Indianapolis 500 by 0.0004 seconds.
Careful. I know what he's going to say.
What would your
Don't ask your girlfriend about that one.
I've
done it before.
Yeah, see, I would have told you you're crazy just because of where I was starting, but honestly, I've always feel very, very confident in Indy. It's at least oval wise, it's definitely one of my favorites. It's just something that clicks, and I feel very comfortable. And so I mean, going into these, you got to think that you like have a shot at winning. Obviously, if everything goes your way, put together good, clean race, get to the finish or get towards the end, put yourself in a good spot. I mean, you got to believe that you have a shot. So I mean, I still would be a little accusatory of you being a liar if you told me that. But
you've done it before.
Yeah, I mean,
you've just won the Indy 500, my friend. You're doing burnouts in front of the best motor racing race track in the United States of America. Where you have Monaco and Spa and stuff. We'll get you sorted on that one, all right? But
nothing compares to Indy.
You've done it.
Yeah,
how does it feel?
Incredible.
Honestly, how does it feel from the heart?
Like I said, I mean, I going to this race, watching this race every year, and I mean, I've just fallen in love with everything about the Speedway, being at the Speedway, racing on here at the Speedway. And I mean, Indy wins always means something special, but to win this event in this type of field, 500 miles worth, 3 hours, however long that was. I mean, just to put it all together is just, I mean, it's hard to put in words for sure. But as Gary said, it's definitely one of the more special wins I've ever had. It's gonna be tough to beat this.
All right, man. Well, we know the family's watching. I even said hi to the family. I knew they were watching.
Yep.
So give us those shout outs. I know the family. And after you get off the thing with us here, I'm sure you're going to be on phone or FaceTime or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting the congratulatories from the family who follows you so closely. Let's hear it.
Yeah, obviously, as you said, Gary, thanks to grandparents, parents. I know a couple friends are watching as well. So shout out to all you guys as always for the support. And yeah, sometimes you tune in.
Sponsors.
Yeah, sometimes they tune in and not decent races here and there, but to be treated to something like that, I'm happy to have everyone there tuning in.
And who's one of the important sponsors on your car?
Amigo Secura is one. No.
Is there one that begins with an R and
I'm
in the verse?
I'm getting there. If you're in the Northeast Ohio area, go check Amigo Secura out for real. It's great food. And yeah, obviously race first. Gary, it's good to have you here for another win here. It's always nice, finishing a tough race and coming in and getting interviewed by you. So it feels pretty normal.
I had a blast calling your win, my man, and I can't wait till you get a chance to go back and listen to the race. I was yelling. So congratulations. Just huge win. And thanks for making this day even more special after everything happened. But congratulations, champ. Go drink your milk. Go put a picture of it up on the or the video up on the Discord, and then go to bed.
Yes. Thank you guys, all of you as well, for the broadcast. Yeah, appreciate everything.
All right, let's move Caleb down to the waiting room so he can go celebrate. I turn it over to you to Derik. Great day, just a great day, and I don't know about you, I'm spent.
Well, it's first of all, anytime that there are race cars on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is a great day. But especially crowning a new champion of the Indianapolis 500, doing it his way, doing it in the way that he did it, and just an exciting race overall. We were looking for excitement, and Mark said it best that those last closing laps is when you're going to get the excitement, and he's absolutely spot on, and that's what we got. And can't wait. I know we have to wait a year for another one, but you know what? It's always worth the wait. And huge thank you to everyone that made this possible. Huge thank you to Chad for allowing me to do this. I can't think of a better group of individuals to cover this with. And like I said, I know we have to wait another year for this, but you know what, though? The wait is always worth it in the end.
Absolutely. I thank you very much for Chad to have me here working with the ERL and the ERN for IndyCar Action. It's a pleasure to be here with you again, Dino. Dave did a great job at the producing stuff. Thank everybody for watching at home. And it was a pleasure to be here with Mark. And again, thank you to the entire ERL, ERN crew for just making this a very pleasant opportunity and situation, and a night to call some action with you guys. You did a great job, Derik. I'd be happy to call another race with you any freaking time. That was a great night.
Hey, you know what? I just rode your coattails, but Dino, good. You know what? You were great there too. Your pit reporting. I hope you didn't inhale enough, or too many rather, fumes. But you did a fantastic job staying on top of things as well.
I think he inhaled too much.
Are you talking to me, my friend? I'm sorry. At the moment, I'm firing up some barbecue on the dingo on the barbecue, the kangaroo. Well, I don't have to speak because you've already spoken all the words that need to be said for this fantastic racing league.
Well, Gary, I think we'll throw it over to you so we can drop the checkered flag on this, and we can all skedaddle on out of here.
Yeah, well, that's going to do it for tonight. Once again, your podium here from Indianapolis is Caleb Bency, Robert Molechka II, and Jason Brophy. Join the ERL Warriors for Peace IndyCar League again for our next race. That's going to be at Texas here, and I think at 2 weeks. But that is it. I want to make sure everybody at home like, share, and subscribe. Indy is really just it's a perfect recipe. Indy is like one half spectacle, one half celebration, and you mix in a dash of speed, a large helping of danger, and a spoonful of struggle. And that kind of is what, if you're able to master all that, that gets you the perfect recipe to win at Indy. And to win at Indy, it puts you in a position to know what Indy means. And tonight, we all got a chance to find out what Indy means to Caleb Bency. So congratulations to him. I want to thank everybody for watching. Have a great night, and catch us next time for the next race of the Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series as we move on to Texas. Have a great night, everyone. Take care.